Season is finally here. Get your picks submitted at wingam.com. Click on contest and enter the Pro Football Challenge. Weekly winners will win $20 in Frickers Fun Bucks. Get to wingam.com and get your NFL picks submitted now. Incredible! Good luck. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He struck him out.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
And just like that, it's a Monday. Welcome in. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here, coming out of the weekend. I feel like it's been, less than 24 hours since you and I did a show.
Yeah, man. We're doing it in person back-to-back days, man.
There we go. It's how you do it. It's at least before we take a hiatus thanks to the holidays.
Hey. I'm about to eat good on Thursday.
That's all you got to do. Tomorrow's Tuesday, though.
I know.
Where are you at tomorrow? Where are you at Wednesday?
I'm not here.
Where are you at Friday? I'll be here. I'm like Baker Mayfield. I'm going to be here whether you like it or not, whether I produce or not. Kinder Mayfield over here is going to be here every single day.
Like it or not.
Like it or not. All right. Well, despite horrible quarterback play, the run game and the defense brought a victory home to your team. Yes. That basically fits the narrative for both Ohio teams yesterday. Two not so great games by the quarterbacks, but the run game and the defense showed up for both. It was very semi-identical, except the Browns made beating the Lions look like, it took everything in their might to hold off the Lions, while the Bengals made looked very impressive in their win, despite lack of production from Joe Burrow. Very good game from the Bengals in their win against the Raiders. So we'll talk about that, but keep in mind, this is a big week because it's Michigan week. Finally. Look, you could tell it's something special this week. Keith Byers was singing on his show earlier today. He sang the entire I Don't Give a Damn for the Whole State of Michigan song. I thought just when I thought he was done, he messed up the words at one point, and he didn't miss a beat. He just kept on going.
I love it. It's hate week, man. It's them, the team up north, with everything on the line. Everything's on the line. This is a Kenner's type of situation. Are you going to get the butterflies that you crave, the Buckeye games?
Maybe later in the week, but keep in mind, what was the line for this? 8?
It's I thought I saw it as 7.
I've seen 7, 7.5, and 8, and it keeps fluctuating, and I think it will continue to fluctuate as the week goes on. Luckily for Michigan, they have Ohio State at home because what we saw this past Saturday was just a complete beatdown. Ohio State over Michigan State. I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, we talked about the impact of their running back and what we thought it was going to be. But the thing is, they let Ohio State jump on them so dang early. There was no opportunity to get Walker involved. I mean, It didn't matter. And I told Keith that earlier, and Byers said the same thing, is it didn't matter. It didn't matter if Michigan State had him back there. It wouldn't matter. It didn't matter if they had the best running back in college or whatnot. It didn't matter. You can go get Derrick Henry. It wasn't going to make a difference as far as that's concerned, because that's how quickly Ohio State jumped on him. And I promise you this much: they called off the dogs at the end of the half. They let everyone kind of get about one more series or two in the second half. If they're up that big on Michigan in the first half, coming out of the second, they're not going to waste any time. They're going to pick up right where they left off. They will not pull. Ryan Day will not pull the dogs off on Saturday if they have a chance to keep running Michigan into the ground. I promise
you think so?
Much. Look, for one, it's the hated rivalry, yes, but remember, Ryan Day's still a little ticked off about Jim Harbaugh throwing him under the bus and the program under the bus. What was it, the Big Ten Media Days or whatever it was? What was that whole ordeal that led to everyone talking about if Ohio State had a chance to put 100 up on them that they would? And Ryan Day was quoted in the locker room as saying as such that if there's a chance, they're going to put 100 up on them. Now, I know some people took that literally. You could say, maybe that's just to get the team all raw, fired up and rah. I promise you this much: if there's a chance, they could have easily did it against Michigan State.
Yeah.
If Ryan Day didn't respect Mel Tucker and didn't respect that program, they easily could have ran that score all the way up. I promise you that much.
Yeah, I'd get scared about type of stuff like that, running it up so close to the end of the season when you have other goals like winning the Big Ten championship and obviously playing in the college football playoff, because this is football. I mean, things get chippy. People take dirty hits. We would hate to see that happen. We would hate to see that happen. Like, we're out there with CJ Stroud out there. We're up 56-7 in the middle of the third quarter. And, knock on wood, Michigan player decides, you know what? Y'all not going to win the national championship. You know why? Because I'm about to take out your quarterback's knee. I mean, I don't think Ryan Day will be able to live with himself if he was in a situation like that.
Well, it's like my favorite show of all time and my favorite show character of all time said, Mr. Walter White, I am the danger. And that's what Ohio State says to Michigan. Ohio State's not worried about danger knocking on the door. They ain't worried about Michigan. They ain't worried about them. And by the way, I put this in the show intro or the show description on Facebook and YouTube. I don't block out M's. I don't refer to them only as the team up north. I don't do any of that childish stuff. That's petty. That's petty. And that's cool if you do, but I don't do it. And if I say Michigan, just, what'd you say? You said the M. I'm like, I got an M and an F coming your way too. If you keep telling me I can't say a certain letter, I'm 32 years old. Not that Kev is any younger than that for saying for including it, but that's just not me. I'm sophisticated. Okay, I don't talk smack. It's just not it's not who I am. Kev, you have a lot of growing up to do, my friend. As I'm over here saying, I am the danger.
You are the one who knocks.
I am the one who knocks. Yes. So I am the danger. I'm the one who knocks. Exactly. That's Ohio State. So no, I do see your point, but at the same time, you could say the same thing. When they were up 45-0 in the first half, what's the difference of someone getting hurt up 45-0? That's what drove me nuts about that Tua Tagovailoa play. I remember years ago, people were attacking Nick Saban left and right. I couldn't believe it, by the way. They literally, there's so many reasons to go after these top coaches in college athletics. Like, if you really want to spend an entire 3 hours as to why Coach K is a horrible guy for college basketball, with all the things that go on at Duke, with all the stuff that's swept under the rug, Calipari at Kentucky, Nick Saban at Alabama, Urban Meyer at Ohio State at the time. Ryan Day just seems more likable for the time being, but let him get a national championship or two. Remember, Dabo was like a very beloved individual for quite some time, and then all of a sudden he gets a couple chips and everyone can't stand him. So there's other reasons why people can't stand him, but it's like at first you're not looking for those reasons. You're looking for the reasons to like him. Ryan Day's in that early Dabo Sweeney stage where everyone finds him all cute and cuddly and stuff, and then eventually everyone's going to be hating Ryan Day the way that you hated Urban, the way that people hate Nick Saban and Dabo and so on and so on. But it was interesting years ago when Tua Tagovailoa, I forgot who even they were playing.
Mississippi State.
It was an SEC team.
Yeah.
Okay.
35-7.
It was a respectable SEC opponent. They were up big. They were dominating them. And when Tua goes down, everyone's like, he had no business being in that game. He could have got hurt. He did get hurt. And all Nick Saban cares about, he just cares about himself. He doesn't respect these players. He only looks at them. He treats them. He uses them for 3 years and moves on from them. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about. I'm like, oh gosh, you guys be kidding. So at what point, how far into the game do you have to get for it to be considered meaningless? Because you could consider, some considered 35-7 or 35-0 meaningless for Tua Tagovailoa in Alabama that year. There's many games. I mean, this past week, CJ Stroud's a Heisman finalist now, as we currently sit here. If up 45-0 or whatever it was at that time, if CJ Stroud gets sacked and has a season-ending leg injury, are we going to say Ryan Day was negligent and didn't care? I mean, I know what you're saying, Kev, but I mean, technically at a certain point, a 4-possession lead is, I mean, what's too big of a lead for you to look at and say, okay, they need to get these guys out of here? Or is it not the big enough lead? It's the time of which the time of the game
is the time of the game.
So the Nick Saban thing, that was the first half.
Yeah, that was the first half. It was 3 minutes left in the first half when Tua ended up getting hurt and his hip and everything like that. For me, it's the time of the game, and it's the plays that you're calling. Like, if your starting quarterback is in the game and you're up, 28 points in the fourth quarter, and they're just like, hike, turning off, handing off, hike, turning, handing off. You just run it into the line of scrimmage with the running back. Not a big problem. But if you got your quarterback out here running naked bootlegs and, the linebacker says, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm going to hit him regardless. And then he gets hurt. That's on the coach. You know what I mean? So, like, when you had the situation last week or this past Saturday with the Buckeyes, us being up 49-0 at half, CJ Stroud started the second half and it was all safe throws. It was nothing like, it was hike, quick bubbles, hike, handoff. That's all they were doing. And then, all right, you got your one drive, come sit down. We try to get you to 7 touchdowns. We try to get you the record and everything like that. We didn't get it on the first drive. Oh, well, sorry, you're on the bench. And Kyle McCord, you go in, backups get ready because we got a lot of clock to burn. A lot of clock to burn.
All right, well, let's get in the spirit of things. 518-1410. I'm all for running the score up. All right, these are grown men. No sportsmanship. I don't need them to be best friends. I don't need them to be taking selfies after. I don't need, this isn't the NBA where there's not a competitive bone in these guys' bodies. They chase money and they chase selfies. That's it. This isn't the NBA. This is college where people actually, I shouldn't say that. This isn't the NBA. Did you see that thing that was about the Malice at the Palace Part 2? And it was about as weak of a Malice at the Palace Part 2 as you can get, but that's typical. But anyway, besides the point. What we saw, or what we can potentially see on Saturday, what we saw Ohio State do to Michigan State. I mean, that's in there. They've been destroying opponents for quite some time. I mean, the last couple of weeks, I mean, you saw what they did to Purdue in the first half. They followed it up with what they just did to Michigan State in the first half. I mean, I don't know what the first half line is going to look like. I know you could bet on absolutely. You could bet on who scores first. You could bet on the first quarter score, the first half score. Who will score first in the second half. There's so many different things you could bet on. I don't know if I expect that big of a lead over Michigan, but I tell you this much. If Ohio State is in position to do to Michigan State what they did this past Saturday, do you want to see Ohio State keep running the score up in the second half? Do you want to see them keep the starters in and put their foot on the throats of that team up north, or do you want to be like Kevin? Everyone sing Kumbaya. And everyone just, it is what everyone, we got to play it safe. 518-1410, give us a call. Phone lines are ringing now. We'll get those full, and we'll get your take on that. But I am curious, people. Oh, my bad. Here, I cut your mic off.
Guess who the first caller is?
The fan of a team who's going to be down by 100 on Saturday. But I am curious, people's thoughts. 518-1410. If Ohio State has Michigan in a position that they had Michigan State in this past Saturday, do you want to see them run the score up? Do you want to see them run the score up? I know I do. I don't want to sit there and watch them put their third and fourth stringers in just to make it fair. Because you hear that, Michigan, that's exactly what it's going to. It took Michigan State's number 7 team in the country, and Ohio State had to put their backups to the backups in just to only score 7 points in the second half. That's how good Ohio State is that their second and third stringers are equal to Michigan State and their starters. That's how good Ohio State is. That's how good they are. 500. I'm seeing a lot of Houday in there. You guys won a game. Nice, not bad, by the way, after losing to the Jets and getting absolutely embarrassed by the Cleveland Browns. You guys come out and beat a bad Raiders team, and they're Houdaying and hoo-hollering and all this other stuff in there. We'll get to your little kitty cat win coming up here in just a moment. How about Joe Burrow? That's a pretty impressive win. I thought the Browns were the only team that knew how to win despite bad quarterback play. The Bengals are getting pretty good at it, too, so congratulations. Y'all started it. I finished it. We'll get to that coming up in a moment. 518-1410. We'll talk Ohio State, Michigan on the other side. If Ohio State has Michigan in the same spot that they had Michigan State in this past Saturday, do you want to see them call the dogs off in the second half to make sure they're healthy for the Big Ten title game, to go after the playoff? Or do you say, you know what, forget it. We're going to run Michigan into the ground. We got last year to make up for. We gotta treat the first half as this year's game, and then we'll treat the second half as last year's game. We'll put another 50 up on them in the second half. 518-1410. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Missing classes, dropping grades, changes in personality, these can all be signs of youth gambling. Learn how to recognize the warning signs for youth gambling at changethegameohio.org. With high schoolers having twice the rate of gambling problems as adults, it's essential to have a conversation with the teen in your life about the risks of gambling. ChangeTheGameOhio.org has free resources for parents and educators to help prevent youth gambling. This message is brought to you by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it, and rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide. with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299. All on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money, straight talk wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Fever is a potential sign of COVID or the flu, and the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Exergen temporal scanners, available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Buckman's D&D Harley-Davidson and Xenia has gifts for everyone on your list this year. November 24th, 26th, and 27th. Take 20% off licensed products, 10% off aftermarket non-Harley-Davidson parts, and have those incredible gifts wrapped and ready to go with free gift wrapping. Get those names checked off your list and give them what they really want this year, the gift of Harley-Davidson. Buckman's D&D Harley-Davidson, online at buckmansdnd.com.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma-frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt. When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out. This Black Friday, get the original Peloton bike at our best holiday price ever, $1,495. All access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state, based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Ohio State, Michigan, this Saturday, 10:30 coverage begins right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Paul Keels. He'll join us coming up here in just about 45 minutes or so. At 4:10 is when we have him jotted down to call in and jump in on the conversation with us. So we'll talk to the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels. We'll talk Ohio State, Michigan. He's called some of the biggest games in the history of that rivalry. Excited to chat with him. I asked this to Keith Byers earlier today, Kev. I said, beating Michigan's always nice, but a win over Michigan at the shoe over a win over Michigan at the shoe versus a win over Michigan at the big house. You know, winning at home is great. You're doing it in front of your home fans and you get to celebrate with them. It's such a big deal, but there's nothing better than watching 100,000+ fans pissed off at the big house after embarrassing them for the 100th year in a row. So, but he said winning at home is more special. Not that, but they're all special, but he said winning at home. For me, though, I'm one of those, I love to see misery in other people. I love that. Like when the Browns beat down the Bengals that day. Oh my goodness, I was so happy. I think I was more happy watching all the egg on the Bengals fans' faces than I was actually the fact that the Browns got to win. Because yesterday the Browns won, and I was just they won. But they beat the Bengals, and I just enjoyed seeing the misery on those Bengals fans' faces. It was awesome. I slept so well that night. I didn't sleep as well last night. I don't know why. So
I could give you a couple of reasons.
This Saturday, I can give you 6 reasons. This Saturday, watching Ohio State beat Michigan, and not just beat them, but absolutely destroying them. And folks, everyone out there is like, well, Michigan, they're a little bit better than Michigan State and blah, blah, blah. They're not, because the thing is, no one is good enough to stop this offense of Ohio State. Like, unless Ohio State comes out slow, unless Stroud comes out and the moment's too big for him, which I don't anticipate it being that, you can't stop this offense. You can't stop Olave. You can't stop Garrett Wilson. You can't stop these guys. You can't stop Fleming. You can't stop Trevion Henderson. You can't stop C.J. Stroud, who's about to go on and win the Heisman. You can't stop these guys. And even and let's say Michigan State or Michigan scores first, super. Ohio State will come right down the field, score again, and then your defense will be tired. Then they'll have to go out there again, and eventually they're just going to wear them down. Then the offense is going to get tired because they have to keep going out there because Ohio State is going to keep punching it in that end zone. And we talked about Ohio State pulled the dogs off in the second half. I said, look, if you have a chance to run that score up, run it up. And I don't mean, some softies out there would consider 50 whatever to nothing at halftime or 49 nothing at halftime or whatever it was. They would consider that running the score up. I'd say it ain't running it up enough. At this point, style points matter. We're not the Cincinnati Bearcats where we only beat Army by 9 points. No. We go out there for blood. It's a blood sport. It's college football, baby. That's what you do. So if they have a chance this Saturday against Michigan, do not rest guys. Do not pull the starters out. In fact, if anything, Ryan Day might have cost C.J. Stroud a Heisman. Imagine if C.J. Stroud doesn't win the Heisman because they pulled him off in the second half against Michigan State. If they pulled him off in the second half against Michigan, let the big dog eat. And he got a lot in that first half. Let him continue eating. Gorge yourself. It's Thanksgiving week. It's all about overeating. Let the big dog eat. I want to see the Buckeyes run it up. I do not want to see them take their foot off the gas. And I promise you, I don't really get into that whole being an obnoxious Buckeye fan thing. But
you don't?
Out there, no, I don't. Because I've always said Buckeye fans get annoyed with me because I don't do too much Buckeye.
I'm sure they're loving you today.
Well, because the thing is, this offense is that damn good. This offense is so damn good. They literally, right now, and this is the time of year to feel yourself, too. This is the time of year to be playing your best football. And Ohio State, they have it figured out. Purdue got to watch it firsthand, up close and personal. Michigan State, Mel Tucker was over there just counting all that cash he had.
Yes, sir.
Michigan State might be rethinking that a little bit. Holy smokes, this is what we paid you for? But no, they've done a great job this year. But let's just say they're good for Michigan State. They're not good for Ohio State. Michigan's good for Jim Harbaugh and Michigan's low standards. They're not good for Ohio State. Ohio State will destroy them the way they did Purdue, the way they did Michigan State. And you're probably saying, well, Michigan's better than those teams. Michigan's lost to one of those teams, and those other two teams, everyone thought that they were pretty solid too. And look what happened. They're not on Ohio State's level. Michigan's definitely not on Ohio State's level. This isn't Kenner trying to pull a little Browns-Bengals work here. No, this is just simply facts. Michigan is not going to be a problem for Ohio State. It's going to make it even better because they kick Michigan State's ass at the shoe. They're going to do it at the Big House this Saturday. I can't wait. 518-1410. Kev says no. Big picture.
Big
Playoffs.
picture.
I'll let you.
Big picture, man. I mean,
obviously,
obviously, we have to win the game first, and that's the most important thing. Well, you could say that. I won't say that. They got to go out there and earn it on the field. Now, if you are in a position that can get ran up, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we got bigger fish to fry. We got a Big Ten championship to win, and we got a national championship to win. No need to be out there with dudes that could come off the edge like Hutchinson and M'Baku and all that type of stuff. Let's just win the game. Let's win the game and keep it pushing.
So to the Facebook feed we go before we get to the calls. So I said if Ohio State has a chance, they pulled off the dogs at the start of the second half, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. No, I still like to see him pilot on a little more. But I'd like to see him pilot on a little more. But I understood. But against Michigan, no. You don't pull off the dogs against Michigan. You play two quarters against Michigan State. Maybe play 3.5 against Michigan. At least 3. But do not pull the dogs off. Remind Harbaugh. I mean, beat them so bad Harbaugh's fired after the third quarter. I want NFL teams to be calling Jim Harbaugh by the midway point of the third quarter. That's how bad I want this game to get on Saturday, and I think it will be. I really do. This isn't me being cocky. This is just common sense. If you look at Michigan, Michigan right now, they've played good games against good Big Ten teams, but Ohio State's a great Big Ten team. Ohio State's a great team in the Big Ten. But 518-1410 calls are coming in. We'll get to those coming up in a second. But to the Facebook feed we go with this, and by the way, the Bengals people. Bengals, we'll get to you in a second. Dennis on Facebook, he's a smart man. He says, run it up, baby. Yeah, absolutely. Run that score up. Do not pull the starters. Do not pull the starters. I want to keep seeing them put the points up. Let's go. Ron Broadstock says, CJ, then Quinn, throw for 5 touchdowns apiece. Do what you got to do. Keep piling it on, baby. That's what I got to say. Doug Morgan says, there's a way bigger picture than running up the score. The Buckeyes have not come through in the playoffs since 2014. Doug, you mean the team that was just in the national championship game last year? You mean that team? Come on now. Michigan will be hungrier than ever for this game. We hear that every year, that Michigan's hungry this year. Harbaugh's been coaching for his job the last 3 years, but those dumb boosters, they keep having faith in him for whatever reason. I don't get it. Michigan will be hungrier than ever for this game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game at kickoff. It will be. We're going to remember this game, man. It was very close at the beginning. It was a very close game to start. It started out at 0-0. Before 2 minutes into the game, Ohio State led 7-0. 4 minutes, they led 14-0. And in the first quarter, they led 21-0. And then it just kept going from there. Just saying. It's going to be. And then Sean Boland says, was the UC shot necessary? Yes. Yes. Stop it. They're bragging about, the style points. You see those style points? Yes, we saw the style points that Ohio State put up in the first half, and it took you 4 quarters to do it against SMU. Yes, I saw the style points. Anyways, Ron Broadstock says Buckeyes would cost Sauce millions of dollars. Yeah, Cincinnati, you don't want to run into the receivers for Ohio State, because in Sauce, you go from what, like a first-round draft grade to maybe third. Just saying. Ron, it's a very good point. 518-1410. Let's go to, who do we have? Kev on 3. We have Keith. Keith, how are you, sir?
Hey, Justin. Hey, Kevin. Hey, this is great.
Keith, call us back. Keith, call us back.
Your phone line sounds bad, Keith. Keith is laughing. He's having a good time. You can tell it's Michigan week. He sounded like he's having a blast. Keith, you just had a bad connection there. Give us a call back, man. We'll get you hooked up. Who's on
to the
4?
front line? We got John on line 4.
John, how are you, sir? Welcome.
Well, you really think Ohio State is unbeaten, don't you?
Huh?
Unbeatable. You think Ohio
they have a loss on the season, but this isn't the same team.
They are. When they come to the big house, they're going to get that butt kicked when they come to the big house.
Based on what?
Based on your ignorance. Bye.
Based on your ignorance. Bye. Oh, look, we have our first hater mic usage of the week. So look, Kev, you didn't even get to hear it.
I did not. Keith is back on line 3, by the way.
What was that last caller's name?
John.
All right. So John called in and said that I think that the Buckeyes are unbeatable. I said no. I said they have a loss on the season. They're a much different team now than what they were at the beginning. And he said that Michigan's going to win. I said, based on what? And he said, based on your ignorance. And then he hung up. Because what stupid Michigan fans don't understand is that they have to hurry up and get a quick little one-liner in and then hang up, because they're too much of fill in the blanks to continue the conversation, because they know that the proof is in the results. And my goodness, I don't know how old this guy was the last time Michigan won, but I'd say what 9 years younger? Just by doing some math here, it's really not that hard to figure out. Stop, you guys. This is why. See, I'm trying to have fun with this rivalry, but at the end of the day, it's like you guys don't have a shot. This is like when I was talking smack about the Bengals the other day. It's like, stop. You guys are cute. You guys feel good about yourselves, but you're nothing. You're nothing. You're nothing, Noah Kinner. Michigan fans, ask Bengals fans about how right Kinner is. Ask them. Let's rewind to 2 weeks ago. I felt great on that Sunday. That Sunday was one of the best days of my life, because I got to watch all of you be wrong. And now that last caller, John, just ask a Bengals fan. I'm always right. And you'll learn. Because you're ignorant. I'm John, the Michigan fan. Let's go to another Michigan fan. I'm feeling pretty good today. Let's go to Shaw. Shaw, how are you, my friend?
Not bad. How about you?
I feel pretty good. I feel bad for you already, though.
Well, I don't know why you don't lump me in with caller John. I've been telling you about your offense all season long, and you were the one telling me, "Oh, we're struggling. We can't throw the ball against Minnesota, and we're struggling on defense, and we're struggling."
Listen, if you're going to talk stupid, I'm going to talk stupid back to you. Were they
No,
throwing
I'm not
well against
talking
Minnesota?
stupid.
No, they were not. Were they throwing the ball well to start the season? No, they were not. Are they throwing the football well now?
Yes, they are. So I don't know why you're doing my voice in a
How were
mocking
they not
tone,
throwing
Mr.
the
Smart
ball
One,
when they were
because
throwing the
back
ball
at the
for
beginning of the
500?
season, they were not playing well. And I was that because that's what I
He
do,
was
Mr. Shaw.
throwing- I'm
I
talking
call
about
it
the
like it
offense.
is. When Ohio State plays well, I say they play well. When they don't play well, I say they don't play well. So don't call in with the mocking voice. Okay, that's my thing. Okay, don't call in with the mocking voice, especially when you get it wrong. When you're going to do the mocking voice, at least make sense. You're not making any sense. When I said that they weren't passing the
No, I'm
ball well,
making
it's
perfect
because they
sense.
weren't
No,
passing the
shut
ball
up
well.
and
It's really not that hard to figure out.
So they're struggling so bad, but yet Stroud's throwing for 300 every week. I'm not talking about the defense, dude. I'm talking about the offense.
Dude,
The
it's
offense
called the
has been putting
the team
300
got better as the season went on. The offense was not playing that great to start the season. That's what. So you're mocking me about a
They
game from
weren't?
all the way back in
They
September.
weren't. So C.J. Stroud just got all those numbers in the last month. Really?
This is why I know you don't know football, because at the beginning of the season, nobody was pleased with how they were playing offensively. It's really not that hard to figure
Ohio
out.
State fans weren't pleased. Ohio State fans weren't pleased.
What kind of
Because
Michigan
you
fan
weren't
is
beating
pleased with
every
what
team
Ohio
by
State was
50
doing at the
points.
beginning? You're a very weird Michigan fan, by the way. Like, you defend Ohio State. That's just weird.
9 years ago, for the last 9 years, I've been beaten in the face the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I had to become a realist real quick. That's what happened to me as a Michigan fan. That's why I won't be watching the game on Saturday. Until
Real
Michigan
fan,
proves-
yeah. What?
Until Michigan
Wait.
proves- until Michigan-
Wait. You're not going to be watching the most important game of the college football season and your team is in it?
Until Michigan proves they can win this game on a regular basis.
So hold on.
Watching this
If
game.
Michigan wins this game on Saturday, you won't even witness it.
No, I won't. I'll watch it on DVR.
Wow.
Man, 2 Michigan calls today, and they've both embarrassed their fan bases. I mean, you guys are off to a heck of a start.
I don't even know what to say on that one, man. Like, that's weird. That's
No,
weird.
it's not weird. If you guys ever lose 9 years in a row, and the last 2 times it was by 50 plus, you'll understand where I'm coming from.
But you have a good
You
team.
won't understand where I'm coming from.
You have a good team,
You
and
guys- you
unlike
guys will
Kenner,
never
I do believe y'all have a chance to win. So you do have a chance to win.
Okay, please. I mean, Kev, I respect you like anything in the sun. Please tell me how Michigan has a shot Saturday. Please.
You got 2 defensive ends that are going to be playing in the NFL. That's why.
You have 5 offensive linemen that'll be playing in the NFL.
Hey, man, I've seen crazier things happen.
You're going to put a tight end and a running back on Hutchinson's side. You're going to put a tight end on Ojabo's side, and you're going to throw over the top of our safeties all day long.
I hope so.
When the safeties go back and play cloud defense, guess who's going to run up the middle for another 57-yard game, just like Beanie Wells in 2006?
I hope you're right. God, I hope you're right.
You guys didn't believe me with Walker last week.
Hey, I mean, they took him out the game because they were up 28-0. You can't rely on a power running back when you're down 28 points.
Because Tucker didn't know how to call a damn offensive play. He had 6 carries. I understand what Ohio State did, but in the beginning of the game, what'd they come out and do? First possession.
Pass.
Throw. Second possession. Throw. It took to the third possession for Walker to get his first carry. You're really? You're Michigan State. You have one hope. You have a potential Heisman Trophy candidate as your running back. If you don't hand him the ball off until the third possession, come out, get out of here with that nonsense.
This is
They lost
saltiness
the
because
game before
Michigan
they even
State beat
kicked
his
off.
team. So this is why he just beats up on Michigan State all the time. Because he's given up on
No,
Ohio
I'm
State,
a
so now he just
realist.
beats up on
I'm a
Michigan
realist.
State the whole time. I'm a realist. You don't even watch the games. You just said it yourself. And by the way,
I
Shaw,
watched
this is how
I
bad
watched
your take is, by the
2019.
way. Scott Campbell on Facebook says, Shaw not watching his team this Saturday. I finally have heard something more embarrassing than David Bell's managerial decisions. Ayo! How? W, a win for Scott.
Good job. None of you are on this side of it. I have family from out of town that has been basically the Thanksgiving been ruined because my attitude on Saturdays after watching my team get kicked. They're coming out of town. Sorry, I don't want to
You
ruin
mean with that sunny
Thanksgiving.
personality of yours, you don't light it up at Thanksgiving?
Man, if I can
Not
watch
after my
Mason
team
Rudolph
loses by
play quarterback
63.
for the Steelers versus the Lions, you can watch your team You can watch your squad. Come on, man. You got to do better than that.
Not
man.
after
You had
my
Baker.
team loses 63 points. Sorry, fellas.
Go Bucks.
It's okay. 518-1410. My goodness. I mean,
he's giving up hope already.
We've heard
on Monday
2 Michigan fans today, and you wonder
total
why
different ends of the spectrum.
And they wonder why we laugh at them so much. It's not even just because of the results on the field anymore.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's weird.
He had you defending Michigan, which I know you're not trying to defend Michigan, but it's like you're having a hard time grasping. Like, I think you halfway through that conversation, you realize, wait, the Buckeye music playing in the background. We're dating some with the Buckeyes. I'm talking to a Michigan fan. The Michigan fan saying his team sucks. You're trying to say they're good. This is like the most backwards thing I've ever seen. Thanks, Shaw.
It's like an Allen Iverson crossover. I'm lost.
All right, 518-1410. Who's up next, Kev?
We have Keith back on line 3.
Keith on line 3. Keith, we got this. There it is. There we go.
No problem, man.
No problem.
Yeah. And let me say this here. For one thing, and I don't want to get off track, but C.J. Strauss, didn't he have an injury at the beginning of the year? He was trying to work out a shoulder or something like that?
They said it was an injury. Some said it was an excuse just to get him out of his head a bit. But, he needed that week off against Akron. That's for sure. He's been a different quarterback.
But it shows that how his potential when he's not injured, if he was. But I was kind of laughing because I wonder if that Jim Harbaugh is looking at his contract and wondering if he signed on the dotted line because, he has a decent team this year. They only lost 1 game, and he has responsibility of making his team win. So, he's probably going to be like, I wonder if he's going to get any sleep this week because he must be wondering if this is all going to fall back on him. But, about running up the game, I myself, I would think right around high, 66, 70.
Yeah.
Turn from a football game to a basketball game.
Balling.
Yeah. So anyways, you're right, man. This team is pretty good, and I'm wondering if Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama are wondering they're going to get a fight from Ohio Buckeyes this year.
Like a fight like they've never seen before. Hey, I just don't look. Listen, I don't talk as much smack about Alabama and teams like that because, that's Ohio State's on their level. The reason I don't respect Michigan and the reason I'm not taking this as serious as most people is because I don't respect Michigan. This isn't going to be a game. It's over before it starts, and that's just how I view it right now. Ohio State's too damn good.
I'd rather take an offense than a defense because an offense can make scores. If you have a good defense and it can't make scores, it's just going to have no points. So I'll take the offense. So we have a great offense. So I'm looking forward to that Georgia game.
No, already count.
Oh, man.
Like that's how
Kenner style.
I like it. Keith, good stuff, man. Thank you for calling back.
Take care. Bye.
This is how.
He skipped the Michigan game, Big Ten championship game,
semifinal,
straight to the championship game. Man,
I like it. Oh, I still can't get over that damn Michigan fan. Oh, talk about my ignorance. So that's why Michigan's going to win because of my ignorance. I probably do have a lot of ignorance. All right, I am pretty ignorant. I get that, but that's why Michigan's going to win. You think Jim Harbaugh's like, we're going to win on Saturday because of Kinder's ignorance? Like, do you realize how dumb that Michigan fan sounded? Like, I just don't get it. I mean, my goodness. So someone else called out Shaw, Kev.
Oh, boy.
Where'd it go? Josh says, Kenner even gets mad when you support his team. Ha, ha, ha. Just Jeff on Facebook said, tell that idiot we did when he said lose 11 straight years or whatever, and then tell me how you would handle. Jeff says, tell that idiot we did. John Cooper was 1-11-1 versus, that team up north. So there you go. The Cooper days.
Yeah, Cooper days. I remember those days.
Ann Anderson said, wow, there's no way I ever missed this game. Even when we were stationed overseas back in the 70s and we never got live games, I still watched the tape-delayed versions, even though we knew who won. Go Bucks. See,
absolutely.
That's a real fan right there.
Absolutely. You got to watch. I mean, this is the game. If you're a fan of either team, you got to be tuned in no matter what your record is. And now, especially because there's everything on the line, you have a chance to go play for the Big Ten Championship, especially if you're Michigan, for the first time ever. For the first time ever, you get a chance to go to Indianapolis. You got to watch. You got to watch and root on your team. And then they go to the Big Ten Championship game and win it. You're in the college football playoff. Everything's on the line. You have to watch this game. You can't just DVR it and watch it via Twitter and see what the score update is. Just if it gets out of control, turn it off. But you got to be there to start. You got to be there to start, man.
You can turn it off at half when the game's over. At least watch the first quarter. You could turn it off at the first quarter when it's done. Just saying. 518-1410. Kev, who's up next?
We got Mick on line 4.
Mick, are you a Buckeye fan or a Michigan fan?
Buckeye all the way.
There we go. OH, baby. What you got for us today?
Hey, I was listening to Colin Coward about an hour ago, and he said the reason Ohio State's going to dominate is their receiving core is better than about 4 or 5 NFL teams. And he said, and I'm serious. He said, break them down. He said, we got the speed, we got the length. He said, they're not going to be able to stop the receivers. And one other thing, I would hope that last week when Michigan was sitting in their locker room watching this game, the Ohio State game on TV, I hope he was smart enough to go in and turn it off. I'm out.
Good stuff, man. OH.
IO.
518-1410. 518-1410. Caller, who's this?
This is Bob.
Bob, you're on live, sir. How are you? Welcome in. Ohio State fan or Michigan, you're welcome no matter what.
Big Buckeye fan, but not rabid. I mean, I root for Michigan, to go undefeated to the last game, so the game really means something.
Me and you are on the same page there. We're on the same page there because I really don't get excited for this matchup too often anymore because of the gap between the two, and I always get mad when Michigan loses a game they shouldn't that could ruin this matchup, and luckily last week they did not do that. I really thought they were going to lose to Maryland. I was like, oh, here we go. They're going to stub their toe and water down this rivalry game on this Saturday. Well, good for them, though. They put 50 up. They won convincingly. At least it feels like a big game on Saturday. I just feel like it'll be done by the end of the first quarter.
And I pretty much do that to all Big Ten schools because I'm a big fan of the Big Ten, but I am a Buckeye fan, and the only time I root against Big Ten schools if it affects the Buckeye standings or something like that. But other than that, I love the game next week or next Saturday because it means so much. I mean, it's going to be exciting. But the reason I called is I just want you to ease up on these Michigan fans, like the first two that called, because, I mean, they have been mentally and emotionally abused. And I think we're looking at the Stockholm syndrome where, I mean, the one is kind of sympathetic and for Ohio State and, and so I think it's just an emotional mental disorder that they're suffering from. So I just kind of ease up a little bit because, I feel sorry for them. It's been rough.
Me and you have been on the same page the whole time. I don't feel sorry for nobody. Look, our time could come at some point in the near future, and we would be going through this, and they will not. Look, some Michigan fans don't even take it easy on us now, and they haven't beat us in almost a decade. So, but I definitely see what you're saying. But they started.
Yeah, and I do hope it's another Michigan State game next weekend, kind of. But I don't want to run up the score and to the point where you're risking injury to our starters because there'll be a lot more to play for, and that would be a hard thing. But, I'm hoping it's Saturday is be another game like it was this past Saturday.
All right, good stuff, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
518-1410. That's the number to call in. And so, look, there's a lot more people who agree with Kev. But if you're going to run the score up, do it in the first half, rest of the guys in the second half. But if C.J. Stroud loses a Heisman because he only plays a half a game while Bryce Young and not as good as Ohio State, Alabama has to play full 4 quarters. I'm just saying, I'd be really bummed.
Get the ring, baby. Get the ring.
Get that Heisman.
The ring.
Get that Heisman.
Get the ring.
Get those commercials, those Heisman House commercials. Those are very important.
Get the pants, get the Big Ten championship, then get the ring.
You can get the ring, get both. Why can't you get all of them?
Yeah, he can. He has definitely a great chance to do it.
You cannot play scared.
No, I ain't playing scared.
That's what you're saying.
I ain't playing scared.
That's playing scared. Playing scared of getting hurt. That's playing scared.
No, it's playing smart. You see Kyle McCord, you look like Kyle McCord need to be out there playing up against anybody of competition. Look like he ready to go out there and lead us to a national championship yet.
You got mullet, man. You got the mullet.
Yeah, handing the ball off as you should be.
As he did it one time. And
take a knee, bro.
That dude is as good as gone. I'm telling you, I've been calling it from the beginning of the season that Quinn Ewers is as good as gone. And we talked about this on the Sunday show yesterday. Watching Quinn Ewers come in late in mop-up duty was, I technically got my over-under wrong. I think we did over-under one game or half a game that we see. Will Quinn Ewers ever take a snap for Ohio State? I said he will never take a snap for Ohio State. He technically took a snap for Ohio State, but I'm going to change it. He will never take a meaningful stat for Ohio State. He'll never take a meaningful snap for Ohio State. Moving forward, I just don't see it. With C.J. Stroud 1 year in, technically 2. But you have one more year of Stroud left. Like if Stroud finishes it out, forget the Heisman. If he wins the Heisman, great. Like it's not as if he doesn't win the Heisman that he's no good. Like he's already in the Heisman conversation. That's what kind of quarterback you have at Ohio State. He's coming back next year. You don't just bench him just because of the aura of Quinn Ewers coming up, because we're being told that Quinn Ewers is supposed to be Justin Fields. He's supposed to be Trevor Lawrence. You don't just play him because he's cut from that same cloth or whatever. Like you don't just play him because of that buildup. You don't just play him because he's. I think is he the richest? He's the richest quarterback as far as name, image, and likeness is concerned.
I think Bryce Young is, but it's neither here nor there.
I thought he got the $1 million, or they both got the $1 million contract. Either way, it's either the same or it's within a couple thousand of one another. I mean, whoever's more rich than the other one, I feel bad for the poor one. But the bottom line is at this point, like I was curious, the name, image, and likeness, the weight that would have on the decision making of who the quarterback is. Everyone thought, especially with C.J. Stroud to start the season, that okay, Stroud's he's going to be okay, he's going to be solid. He's just a placeholder until next year when Quinn Ewers is ready to go. Like at this point, C.J. Stroud's your guy next year. Quinn Ewers, if he is as good as what everyone says, and he probably is, I mean, I don't have anything to doubt that he isn't. I mean, look at the quarterback room and look how they develop Stroud. Look how they develop these guys. He'll be that good, but he ain't sticking around. He's not going to wait another year. He already has a year of eligibility that he's used now. He's not going to sit next year and then only play one more year at Ohio State after that. He knows that he only has next year and the year after to put stuff out on film to get to the NFL. He's not going to sit next year behind C.J. Stroud and then have to go the Spencer Rattler route of trying to put it all into film in 1 year, or the Mac Jones route. That's rare, what Mac Jones did. That doesn't happen often, where Mac Jones gets drafted in the first round. Dwayne Haskins gets drafted in the first round after 1 year of starting film. So that he ain't going to go that route. I just see him as good as gone. I don't think he takes a snap for Ohio State moving forward.
I have no idea. I don't know, man. I don't think he'll be sticking around just because there's such a log jam in the room and they're basically all the same age. They're all not only the same age, they're all like the same class. And he's like a class behind him, but he's supposed to be 2 class behind him. If he's not going to be playing, it's quote unquote nobody's fault but his own for coming a year early. If he would have came to Ohio State next year as he was supposed to, him sitting 1 year and then competing for the starting spot the following year, he'd have been quote unquote on track. And now since he decided to come to school early, kind of like do things off, obviously he's going to redshirt this year. So next year he'll be a redshirt freshman. CJ Stroud will be a redshirt sophomore with the ability to go pro after next year. And who's to say CJ Stroud will even go pro after next year? There's so many guys out there that go pro after 2 years at the quarterback position and flame out. Mark Sanchez, there's the countless guys, Jameis Winston. So there's guys that go pro after their sophomore year playing the quarterback position and flame out. Who's to say he is going to leave after his sophomore year? I mean, Dwayne Haskins left off his red shirt sophomore year. So what if he decides to come back for his junior year and say, like, I need some more reps. I want to learn more. I want to go for another Big Ten or another national championship at Ohio State. We don't know that. So the thing about Quinn Ewers is this clock got started early because he decided to show up. And obviously Ohio State was going to honor the request for him to come to school early because he's a big time prospect. But like, this is the game that you play. This is the dice that he rolled. And ultimately, we're going to find out one way or other if he's cut up for it or if he's going to be somebody else's starting quarterback.
Here's why I know he's as good as gone. He's not sitting another year because he's money motivated. Now, aren't we all? But I've heard Kirk Herbstreit, I've heard Keith Byers and many others say you would have to literally rip them off the football field of their senior year of high school. He skipped his senior year of high school with his teammates because they wouldn't let him get the name, image, and likeness money in Texas as a senior in high school. So he bailed on his high school teammates to go to college a year early to chase the money. So if the NFL money is waiting there, He's money motivated. He's not going to, I would love to have one more year of college football experience. I'd love to go to war with my guys one more time. He's like, I can go to the NFL and make my millions now. I'm going there now. Like, it's already a pattern. We've already seen it.
No, I'm talking about C.J. Stroud coming back for his junior year.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, but he's coming back next year.
Yeah, I mean, he has no choice.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying about Quinn Ewers. He's not going to sit back and wait another year. He's going to want to go play. That's what these cats want to do. They want to go out and play right away. But 518-1410. No, you cannot get a who day. You beat the Raiders. My God, what is wrong with you? The Browns beat the Lions yesterday, and I feel like they lost. And I'm not saying you should feel like you lost, but you beat the Raiders. Big freaking whoop. The Raiders aren't any good right now. Ever since what's his name left, they haven't looked the same. Big freaking deal. You should be concerned. Your quarterback's looking awful Baker Mayfield-like, and I was told by you guys that's not a good thing. So, no. You don't irritate me. I'll get to the Bengals on my terms. I'll get to the Browns on my terms. But when you try to and now more who days coming in. You're trying to hijack the show with the who days. I'll talk Bengals. I just won't talk it the way you like. All right, we'll step away for a few moments. We do have coming up around the corner. We will hear from the voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Paul Keels, at 4:10. I see what you're doing, Josh. I see what you're doing. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work.
It already did.
My goodness. As Baker Mayfield was horrible yesterday. He still had better numbers than Joe Burrow. Isn't that funny? I found it pretty funny. I found it very funny, actually. Very, very funny. But hey, 2 Ohio Pro teams found ways to win despite poor quarterback play. It's what we do here in Ohio. We'll be back, and except for at the college level, the Ohio State University. I'm sorry, Michigan fans. This is a tough week for you guys. It is. It's tough. It's almost 10 straight years. By the way, you see how sad Shaw sounds, by the way? Someone brought up the Cooper stat earlier, and Shaw responds with, he was 2-10-1, by the way. He even misspelled Cooper's name. His name's Copper now. He's like the carrot turned fox and the hound now. Copper was, David Shaw says Copper was 2-10-1, by the way. Do you feel better that the last listener was 1 win off? He got it wrong by 1 win, and Shaw feels better because he Wikipedia'd that thing. I'm just saying. Hour 1 was fun. Let's do it again in hour 2. We'll be back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So it's about that time for an oil change? We've got what you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge full synthetic or full synthetic high mileage and an STP extended life oil filter for just $31.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Hey parents, good news. Kids ages 5 to 11 are eligible for a COVID vaccine. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
O'Reilly.
Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free. Plus, earn triple O rewards points. Get ready for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Don't miss Helzberg Diamond's best Black Friday ever sale. Up to 65% off can't fail gifts for a limited time only. Grant their holiday wishes with sparkling diamond studs and pendants, a lab-created sapphire gift set, and more at up to 65% off. And here's a gift for you, a free Nintendo Switch Lite with a purchase of $699.99 or more. Visit Helzberg.com or a store near you. Offer valid November 23rd through December 1st while supplies last. See online or in store for details.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, recipient of Honda's President's Award. When your vehicle needs service, we make it convenient. Open 6 days a week, including all day Saturday. We also welcome same-day appointments and walk-ins as well. Our technicians are factory trained, and we offer a new state-of-the-art facility, clean waiting rooms, loaner cars, and free alignment checks as well. Ask for the $99.95 alignment special. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675. Between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Take home Frickers Holiday Feast. Frickin' yum, 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 yum. Our gift cards always please. Frickin' yum, 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 yum.
Take home 4 pounds of frickin' chicken chunks for only $29.99, carry out only. Buy a $25 Frickers gift card and you'll get 5 frickin' bonus bucks free. The ho, ho, ho! For fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Frickin' yum, yum.
If you're on Medicare and have questions about health and drug coverage options, join the Ohio Department of Insurance at a Medicare event near you. Learn about Medicare open enrollment, financial assistance programs, and important deadlines. Everyone on Medicare should review their health and drug plan options. Annual open enrollment runs October 15th through December 7th, and new plan coverage begins January 1st. Visit insurance.ohio.gov or call 1-800-686-1578 to find an event near you.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Hey parents, good news. Kids ages 5 to 11 are eligible for a COVID vaccine. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He struck him out.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. It's Michigan week, and we'll be joined coming up here in about 7 minutes from the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels. Paul Keels pulling a lot of duties here tonight. Of course, he's doing some Sports Center updates on the Fan in Columbus right now. He'll be joining us here in 7 minutes on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash here to kick things off in hour number 2, and then he'll be on the call tonight. Ohio State basketball at 5:15. Pregame coverage begins. They'll tip off at 7 o'clock, and we'll talk about that coming up more around the corner, but we'll also be going heavy into Ohio State, Michigan. Didn't get that matchup a year ago, of course, in one of the wonkiest seasons in the history of college football, thanks to COVID-19, but things have kind of return back to normal, at least from a college football standpoint, that is. And we'll talk about that with Paul Keels and what this matchup means. And, you know, it is funny, you know, where the caller a little bit ago already has him in the national championship game. A lot can happen. A lot's on the line. I don't fear Michigan. I don't fear whoever the Buckeyes have in the Big Ten championship game. But Ohio State, you know, when they run into similar opponents, they do, you know, look more evenly matched. When we've seen them run into Clemson in years past, they look more evenly matched. When you run into Alabama, they look mismatched last year, but they blew them out the time before that. The playoff is what Ohio State's built for, Kev. Like, they're not recruiting to win the Big Ten. They're not recruiting to win the East or the West. They're not recruiting to win a Big Ten championship. They're recruiting to win the whole damn thing. And when you recruit to win the whole damn thing, everything else underneath comes with it. And I've never understood why more teams don't have that mindset, why more teams don't have that, we recruit to win this division. We got to recruit to the best team in this division. I've never understood that theory, because I feel like if you recruit to be the best, to beat the best, everything else just comes with it. I've never understood that, they got to recruit to win the Big Ten. I just don't get it. I don't get why. We see it in basketball a lot of times too, but even in college football, the Big 12, they recruit high-powered offenses and they don't care about defense. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't know why one team has not ever said, you know what, we're going to go all in and we're going to be the meanest, toughest defensive team in the Big 12. And we don't care what and we're going to make sure we have a good high-powered offense. But I will never understand why not one program in that conference has said, Let's go pay good money to get some good defensive recruiters out here, and let's turn one of these Big 12 teams into a defensive powerhouse and be known for that, as opposed to, well, we got to score with everyone else. Well, that's a given. You shouldn't just be recruiting one side of the ball anyways, but that's what the Big 12 does. Recruiting to win your conference is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Recruit to go for the whole damn thing, because that's really what you get judged on whether you're a legitimate program or not, or whether you're a playoff team or not.
I think it's a little easier said than done. I don't think everybody has the capabilities to recruit like the Ohio States and the Alabamas. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that help recruiting and everything like that. And other programs aren't technically as bought in as others. That's why we have the phrase called a football school or a basketball school. Like, it is like that. Nobody's ever going to confuse Kansas as a football school. When you think of Kansas, you think, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. You think of three-pointers. You think of Mario Chalmers. You think of Danny Manning. You think of those guys. When you think of Duke, you're not thinking nothing about football. You are thinking about Coach K and that basketball program. And I think that some schools prioritize other things over other things.
All right, we'll step away for a few moments. It was just a quick tag in. Paul Keels, the voice of the Buckeyes. We will talk about that next when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny, a high near 40. Tonight's going to be clear and cold, a low around 22. And tomorrow will be clear and sunny, a high near 42. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces at your home, office, or commercial property. Introducing infrared patching, a new technology for your property. This service and more at culletsealcoating.com.
When others treat your fries as an afterthought, all you're left with are cold, soggy fries. That's why Wendy's new fries are ones you won't forget, guaranteed to be hot and crispy, or we'll replace them. We're talking natural cut, skin-on fries, perfectly seasoned with a hint of sea salt. In fact, they're even preferred almost 2-to-1 over McDonald's. These are fries so hot and crispy, they beg a new question.
What would you like with your fries?
Try them today, only at Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, taste preference based on a national taste test by an independent research company.
My son is not some statistic.
My daughter's not a headline.
My girl, she's not someone's agenda.
What she is irreplaceable. COVID hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer.
So I talked to my daughter's doctor about COVID vaccines.
She said they're highly effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths, even from the Delta variant.
We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fall is here, and Rob's Beer Barn is stocked. Seasonal refreshments and holiday beers have arrived, just in time for your favorite sporting events. Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for your family holiday plans. At Rob's, you'll find all the ice-cold refreshments you'll need. Craft, imported, local, and seasonal beers. Fine wines, snacks, and ice. Plus, Rob's Beer Barn has apparel. For last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stock up today. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian Ripple Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn. Just look for the beaver.
Save on your next project during Menards' last 11% rebate sale of 2021. Update your home with a Mastercraft door built just for you. Start a bathroom remodel and save on a new vanity. Update your kitchen with the largest in-stock appliance selection to take home today at the lowest prices. Menards' last 11% rebate sale of 2021 is good through Wednesday, November 24th. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Friendsgiving is going to be a little different this year because Capital One's The Match is back on TNT this Thanksgiving weekend with its best edition yet. The 5th installment of this one-of-a-kind event pits two of golf's most intense rivals, Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka, against one another in a head-to-head showdown. Watch all the action unfold from the Wynn Las Vegas, November 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern on TNT. You're not going to want to miss this.
It's not magic that will deliver 1 billion packages to homes across the country this holiday. It's the United States Postal Service. And we don't need a team of reindeer to do it because we've added more vehicles to our fleet. And while we don't come down your chimney, we can pick up presents for you and yours. So if making more holiday deliveries to homes in the U.S. than anyone else seems like magic, that means we're doing our job. Share the magic at USPS.com/helpers.
Hunting season has returned at Field & Stream, and there's no better time to stock up on your favorite essentials. Get everything you need for your next outdoor adventure from Spy Point, Sitka, Browning, 10-Point, Winchester, and more top brands. Find the perfect gift for the outdoor enthusiast on your list. Explore our wide assortment of quality gear from the brands you trust and discover exclusive holiday deals in-store and online at fieldandstreamshop.com. Give the gift of adventure this holiday season. Field & Stream, where traditions begin.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
Take home Frickers Holiday Feast. Frickin' yum, 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 yum. Our gift cards always please. Frickin' yum, 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 yum.
Take home 4 pounds of frickin' chicken chunks for only $29.99, carry out only. Buy a $25 Frickers gift card and you'll get 5 frickin' bonus bucks free. The ho, ho, ho! For fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Frickin' yum, yum.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
The original stuffed crust from Pizza Hut is so cheesy you'll want to eat it backwards. But what if we played this song backwards?
One topping is $12.99.
No one out-pizzas the Hut. Ask for a limited time offer. Not available in some locations. Exclusions apply. Extra charge for more toppings and extra cheese.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Bags under your eyes? That's junk sleep. And Mattress Firm can help. Shop the Black Friday sale and save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sleepy's.
You want more local content from Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM? Make sure you subscribe to the WING 1410 Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live or go back and rewatch previous episodes of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, the Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street are huge supporters of the Dayton Flyers. Whether you're one of the 13,000 fans cheering on the Flyers at UD Arena or one of the hundreds of fans packed inside Tim's on game day, there is only 2 places that you can feel the passion of the Flyer faithful more than anywhere else. Timothy's Bar and Grill is also a sponsor of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash in the afternoons and the Talking Out Loud Hour on Thursday nights with Sully. Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street. Go Flyers. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 for reliable Lennox products that can make the air in your home absolutely perfect. Ohio license number 14911.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
The Ohio State Buckeyes will be on the road tonight, taking on number 21 Seton Hall, another top 25 opponent. Ohio State lost at Xavier last Thursday. And again, I love seeing that again. That's the one that led to the Kenner Mikey showdown, even though it was also the Kev Mikey showdown. Let's just be real. But like I said, I had no clue that he called me a fat fill in the blank at the end.
Yeah, man. Things got real. I didn't hear it either.
We had to go back and find it. In fact, we might just cut the clip and share it for everybody. I mean, everyone loves a good laugh this holiday season. I don't take myself too serious anymore. And really what I should have yelled back is I ain't fat anymore. Well, I'm not as fat anymore. Like the short jokes. And see, this is the thing that people don't understand. Like when they really try to get me. Oh, they'll post little short memes or whatever. They'll make fun of my height. And I'm like, I'm 32 years old. I've been this height for 30 of those years.
You Eminem in it, 8 Mile in it.
I mean, you got to come up with something. If you're going to actually bother me, you have to do better. You have to do better. Like you making fun of me.
What about Baker Mayfield jokes? Did that get on your skin?
No, I mean those things. But I mean like about my appearance. Like if you think that making fun of me is going to bother me,
we know you don't care about yourself, but we know you love Baker Mayfield.
And fat my entire life. I've heard it all. And I've still done pretty damn good for myself for being 5'5" and fat my whole life. So again, you're not going to bother me. As if that's supposed to hold me back. I mean, I guess I could never be center in the NBA or something like that. Holy moly. All right, we welcome you back. Paul Keels will hang out with us coming up here in just a little bit. Again, Ohio State, Seton Hall, they tip off at 6 o'clock tonight. 5:15, the pregame. And Paul Keels right now will be joined by him coming up here in just momentarily on top of that. But all right. Ohio State and Michigan this Saturday, for the first time, feels like something. For the first time in a long time, it feels like they're playing for something other than just the pure history of the rivalry and stuff like that. And that's what I'm excited to talk about this afternoon. We got the voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Paul Keels, hanging out with myself and Kev Nash today. Mr. Keels, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry to be a little tardy there, Justin.
Are you kidding? You got a basketball game tonight. You're doing Sports Center updates all day. I mean, you're a busy guy, and we appreciate you taking time for us. So all good. No need to apologize.
Well, I am not doing the basketball game actually. So Matt Andrews is going and doing the 2 games in Florida, filling it. But thanks for the benefit of the doubt.
Oh no, then that apology is much needed. Then so there you go. I'll let you go. No, I'm just joking. But Mr. Keels, welcome. Ohio State, Michigan, the game this Saturday. Look, this matchup, this rivalry, it's always special. It's the biggest rivalry in all of sports. But I am curious your thoughts. It's special every year, but how much does last year's absence from this rivalry, the game not happening, how much more does that make this year's matchup? How much more special does that make it this year?
Well, that adds a lot to it because you just would have never thought in your lifetime you'd see it canceled. But that was kind of typical of all of last year with a lot of things. But also what makes it special is that there's a lot at stake for both schools. We've seen some years where you've gone into it and there was just one school or the other that had a chance to clinch something. But there's some really big stakes there to be had for both schools. So that adds to making it really special.
Mr. Keels, when you look back at last week, it's 49-0 at halftime. And we at home have the luxury of channel surfing. But you don't have that luxury. You have a lot of time to fill in. Let's be clear. You're at work and there's a lot of game left to call. Like, how do you guys keep your focus and keep us entertained that are listening on the radio?
Well, it's not a problem because you're focusing on the players that are out there. You're focusing on what's going on from each down and distance and, trying to describe what's going on. Yeah, we don't have the ability to channel surf. And while there's other games going on, we're focused on the one that's just right there in front of us. So, trying to see if it's going to get to be a bigger lead. Might Michigan State come back, make it a close game in the second half? That was kind of taken away pretty early. But, that's one of the difference that, everybody else has when they can flip to other games. We don't, but that's all right. We appreciate the opportunity, especially when you watch special performances like what we saw from a number of those players this past Saturday.
We got the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, hanging out with us here today on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine, OGW Energy Resources, and Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street, Ohio State, Michigan this Saturday. We touched on it this game. Obviously it's a special rivalry, but again, for it to finally mean something again, both teams only with one loss, both teams, fighting to get to the Big Ten championship and fighting to get to the college football playoff. Ohio State's no stranger to the playoff. If Michigan's able to pull this off on Saturday and finish the deal in the Big Ten title game. They've never been to the playoff. Finally, every year, and Paul, I'm one of those, I get ripped for this all the time. I'm like, I respect the rivalry, but it doesn't give me all the goosebumps anymore like it used to with the gap between the two programs now. I'm so happy. This is as close to a compliment to that team up north as I'll give them. I'm so glad they took care of business this last Saturday, because finally I got all the nerves. Finally, I got all the excitement for the game on Saturday. It's always special, yes, but it's even more special when you have two teams playing for something, and both teams are definitely playing for something so much on the line this Saturday.
Well, there are those people, and I'm one of them. It sounds like you guys are, that you want Michigan to do well, because if you're an Ohio State fan, you want an Ohio State victory over them to mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Ten is better when Michigan's good, when Penn State's good, when Ohio State's good. Those are the three main brands in this conference. So it is kind of something that's been a little different. The dominating stretch that Ohio State has had with wins since 2011 is something that's very prominently part of the picture every year. This comes up ever since then. But Michigan seemingly has answered some questions. They're playing better football than they have in years. And that's kind of what adds to the anticipation.
When you're previewing this matchup, what are the things that are jumping out about Michigan that kind of give you angst about the Buckeyes, things that we need to worry about as fans?
Well, I think first off with Michigan, they've got one of the best defensive ends in the country in Aiden Hutchinson. And, he's got to be contained. You can't stop him, but he's got to be contained. Josh Ross, one of their linebackers, has played very, very good football. He has to be accounted for. And they have an experienced secondary. On the offensive side, I think Haskins has given them a consistent running threat that maybe they haven't had for a while, but they've also developed a variety of receivers catching the football, which is kind of surprising when you consider they lost Ronnie Bell earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. But you look at what their receivers have done, their tight ends. When you think about Luke Schoonmaker and Eric Hall, they've become threats. Donovan Edwards, one of their tailbacks, I think he set a record for Michigan for receiving yards in a game last week in their win over Maryland. So what Michigan has done is presented a number of threats. But what it seems they've done, too, and it was an area that they've been deficient in this rivalry, they've strengthened themselves at the line of scrimmage, both on the offensive and the defensive lines.
Paul, I asked this to Keith Byers earlier today when he hosted his show. I said, obviously, winning against Michigan, it's special no matter whether you win at the shoe or at the big house. But which one means a little bit more? I always say, Keith Byers said that winning at the shoe is always special, doing it in front of your fans. But I also said, but don't you get a little joy out of doing it there too? Like when you win at the big house and you disappoint all those fans are there to watch Michigan get a win at the big house. And when you get to see, they're disappointed, but when you get to see the disappointment on the fans' faces, and then he kind of grimaced his face a bit like, dang, you're right. I'm kind of in the middle. Where are you at with that? Winning against Michigan is always a great thing, but I get joy out of watching the misery in the Michigan fans' faces when they win at Michigan. Where are you?
Well, understand that. I think there's high value in either win, whether it's home or away, but there is something about quieting a crowd, because one of the things that you'll know in Ann Arbor or in Columbus, the crowd atmosphere is different for that game than it is for any other game during the season, and understandably so. So it's hard to rank one over the other, because any win over Michigan is certainly one that really means a lot, especially with what's at stake this year for Ohio State and Michigan, for that matter. So I don't know. That's maybe something for a player to give you a better answer. But, they're both of high value.
CJ Stroud, look, we're so used to seeing great quarterback play out of Ohio State over the years, especially. And when you look at what this kid is, it's funny watching players progress from one season to the next. And I feel like this has been such a long regular season. We've seen so many different versions of this Buckeye team. But my favorite has been watching how this team and this kid has developed from game one on that Thursday night game at Minnesota to who they are right now heading into Michigan week. How crazy has it been sitting back and just watching the development of this quarterback? Over the years, we go from the Braxtons and the Cardale Jones and the JT Barretts, and then you go into the Dwayne Haskins, and you go into Justin Fields, and now to this kid. To see, we've watched all of those players get better as each season went on, but to see how much better he has gotten from week one against Minnesota and that Thursday night game on the road to who he is now, how special has that been for you watching the development of this kid?
Well, it's been very special when you consider that he came into the season, and because of the compressed schedule last year, he didn't even attempt a pass in a game. And then going through the first three games, actually, with Minnesota, Oregon, and Tulsa, he was dealing with a shoulder injury. They shut him down for the week of the Akron game, let him get healthy, and you really saw a difference when he came back healthy, just with his accuracy. And as time's gone on, he's just gained such a great command of this offense. But maybe the biggest thing he's done is just be able to take advantage of the weapons around him, whether it's that wide receiving group, having a deep running back group, but also playing behind an offensive line that is really solidified. So it's been really special to watch a young man that we didn't know much of what it was going to be about, considering, the little he was able to do prior to this season.
You brought up the offensive line. We have a trio of receivers who got a great backfield and everything like that. But please talk about that offensive line because, I was watching the game on Saturday and a lot of those long developing routes, CJ's back there patting the ball, waiting for them to break open, and he's not breathed on. Talk about that offensive line.
Well, it's really amazing to think about. They lost a couple of guys that are in NFL camps now. The guy that was their projected starting center has hardly played this year. And they've had people step up. Luke Whippler has come in and taken over the center job and done an amazing job. The development of DeJuan Jones at tackle allowed them to move Thayer Munford to guard. And they've developed some depth with guys like Matt Jones, with the way he's been able to play. Also with Donovan Jackson, who they've even put in at times as almost a fullback type. So that offensive line is, unfortunately, offensive lines don't get a lot of recognition. There's not a lot of stats for them. But they've played incredibly well and have allowed a lot of things to happen.
College football playoff rankings, they come out tomorrow. I mean, look, I guess I'm not saying this one doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't matter because, with the big game with Michigan and the Big Ten championship game around the corner, hopefully, and, only 2 more weeks. But right now, their only job is to win, each week moving forward to continue to give themselves a shot. But the college football playoff landscape as a whole, who are your top 4 right now? And mainly asking because of the other, college in Ohio right now that's making a lot of noise, the Cincinnati Bearcats. How impressed have you been with the job Luke Fickell's done over there? And do you see, no pun intended, do you see partying here in the college football playoff?
Well, as a Cincinnati native and a former broadcaster for the Bearcats, I certainly hope so. Because if there was ever a year that a group of 5 team could get in there, this would be the year with what Cincinnati has done. A road win at Notre Dame. And yes, Indiana's not what they've been, but they went to Bloomington and beat Indiana. Those teams don't get opportunities like that very often, and they were able to take advantage of those. Yeah, they had some pedestrian games against some of their conference opponents, but they found out what it was like to be the Hunt. Last week, they really were able to turn it on SMU. Most likely, we'll have an easy time of it at East Carolina this weekend. So I have a bias. I certainly want to see them get in there. Big Luke Fickell fan for everything they did at Ohio State. But I think what's going to help both Ohio State and Cincinnati, if Alabama gets another loss, that certainly helps them. I think if Alabama beats Georgia, that makes it difficult for one or the other schools. And I think we've also seen some of the failings in this playoff poll. I mean, the fact that Michigan is ranked ahead of Michigan State and they lost to them head-to-head. I think the fact that Notre Dame has climbed up as high as they have and they're right behind the Bearcats. But it doesn't matter where they are tomorrow. It matters where everybody shakes out the following week in that playoff poll.
All right, good stuff. The voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, good enough to hang out with us here as we kick off Michigan week. Paul, thanks so much, sir. We appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your week. Go Bucks.
All right, guys. Have fun. Take care.
Bye.
All right, good stuff. That was Paul Keels again, voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes, both basketball and football. I didn't even ask him any basketball questions.
How dare you?
By the way, speaking of college basketball, Wright State was in action a little bit ago.
Our alma mater.
A-10 action, and they lost 74-63 to George Washington. And, of course, people have to start chirping right off the bat. How does Wright State lose to the worst team in the A-10? And
Don't do it.
Oh, they're playing Dayton today? I didn't know they were playing Dayton today. They started it. I finish it. I'm just saying. Captain Petty, that's me.
That's you.
Seriously, how would the fan, the individual that started taking shots at me right off the bat, the team that he's a fan of, is literally peeing down their leg right now. There's playing poorly to start, and then there's what UD is doing, and you're going to poke fun at Wright State for losing to George Washington.
He must be hate watching.
My goodness,
must have been hate watching our lovely alma mater, Wright State. Take that L.
I am a critical person. Wright State, get your stuff together. What are you doing? If there was ever a year to pile on wins, if there was ever a year to start racking up wins and pumping your chest, this is the year. And yet you have the same record as the other team in town that is, and Rice has an opportunity here to capitalize, to make a name for themselves. They ain't going to take this city over. That'll never happen. I've always said Wright State can make 3 straight Final Fours and win a national championship. This will always be a Dayton Flyers town. But it doesn't mean you don't capitalize on these opportunities. Wright State they're too damn good to lose to George Washington. And I'll say it too, Dayton's too damn good to be losing to the teams that they've been losing to.
But the good thing about Wright State is no matter if they would have won this game today, it don't matter. The only thing that matters is winning the conference. That is the only thing that matters. Win the conference, bruh.
That's the same for both.
Oh, that's definitely the way it's going to have to be for UD this year. The way they're going to start.
They haven't won the conference tournament in 20 years.
Yeah, that at-large bid went out the window. But there never will be an at-large bid for Wright State. So let's win the regular season and the postseason. I love winning the regular season because, I truly think that's a better barometer of who's the best team in the conference throughout the season. But unfortunately, that's not how you make the big dance. So let's go ahead and win the conference regular season and the postseason tournament and go dancing.
I don't know. Don't lose to George Washington. Don't. The team's too dang good to be losing teams like that. They lost a close one to Marshall. Yes, I know it was like a 9-point loss, but free throws pulled it away. They were down 10 at the half, and they played dead even with George Washington in the second. Actually, I think they technically finished dead even. They lost by 11, but they were outscored by 1 in the second half, played a much better second half. But Wright State's playing in that tournament. They'll be back in action again tomorrow. I can't remember who they have up next opponent-wise. It's the loser of the next opponent in that tournament that they're in. So I'll keep everyone updated on that for those who are so interested. We'll talk about that. But yes, that's just frustrating. I'm not, saying that you have, I don't know, forget it. Point is, UD is crap in the bed right now. Wright State has an opportunity to pick up some big wins and create some momentum and get some people talking. And if people want to watch a team that wins basketball, they can go to the other arena in town. But no, Wright State's the same record as UD, and they're not turning the needle. That's frustrating. And I don't just hate on teams I don't like. I'm critical of all teams. I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to hating. Just win, baby. I'm surprised I wasn't the other Raider fan growing up because that's a crazy. Just win, baby. Just win. It's all it comes down to it. Speaking of that, just win, baby. That's what the Browns did yesterday. Kinda. Sorta. It's the NFL. Look, there no style points, and luckily for the Browns, there is no style points because they've won some games this year. They've mastered the winning without style points thing. The Cleveland Browns have in the NFL. Look at that. We went from Ohio State, Michigan, to Wright State, George Washington, to the Dayton Flyers struggles, all the way into the Cleveland Browns, baby. That's some
you get around,
bang,
man.
Bang, bang. I mean, yes. Loosey-goosey. There you go. 518-1410. Let's talk some NFL on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. So you Bengals fans, you wanted to talk about your Who Dey victory over the Raiders. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Browns and Baker Mayfield. People want me to turn on Baker. They want me to tell everyone how bad Baker Mayfield is. I'll tell you how bad Baker Mayfield was, but I ain't going to tell you how bad Baker Mayfield is. We'll talk about that next. We got Baker and Taker coming up around the corner as well. Don't go anywhere.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wetjet. With Swiffer Wetjet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wetjet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
It's not just Santa who's coming to town for the holidays. It's your relatives, and boy, are they hungry. So stop by the Home Depot for up to 25% off appliances. Plus, save up to $750 instantly. No rebates, no hassles. Not only will you get a great deal on a fridge, you'll save enough to fill it up with food. Make the holidays yours at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid November 3rd through December 1st. U.S. only. Gas appliances extra offer valid on select appliances and while supplies last. See online or associate in store for details.
O'Reilly.
Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free. Plus, earn triple O rewards points. Get ready for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too. Because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Call It Propane has been serving the Buckeye Nation in the Miami Valley for over 65 years.
Let our family help protect your family from old man winter. Find out why 98% of our customers would recommend us to friends and family. Ask about the service options at 937-372-9194.
Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Call It Propane and Call It Seal Coating are proud to serve the Buckeye Nation.
Don't miss Hellsberg Diamond's best Black Friday ever sale. Up to 65% off can't fail gifts for a limited time only. Grant their holiday wishes with sparkling diamond studs and pendants, a lab-created sapphire gift set, and more at up to 65% off. And here's a gift for you, a free Nintendo Switch Lite with a purchase of $699.99 or more. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you. Offer valid November 23rd through December 1st while supplies last. See online or in store for details.
D-Max, home of the Duramax diesel engine, is now hiring in Moraine and Brookville. To learn more about D-Max and all current openings, go to dmaxengines.com. That's dmaxengines.com. D-Max, your engine for success.
My son is not some statistic.
My daughter's not a headline. My girl, she's not someone's agenda.
What she is irreplaceable. COVID hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer.
So I talked to my daughter's doctor about COVID vaccines.
She said they're highly effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths, even from the Delta variant.
We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
My go-to order at Skyline has always been a regular 3-way and cheese coney. But today, I made the switch to 5-way. Those hearty beans and diced onions took it to another level. From now on, I'm a Skyline 5-way guy.
Mucinex extended release bi-layer tablets allow for immediate and extended release, thinning and loosening mucus and relieving chest congestion for 12 hours. Look for Mucinex available at Target.
Black Friday is finally here, and Rural King has deals that can't be beat, like 20% off all boots, or a 4-foot LED shop light, just $14.99. Or how about a 14-foot trampoline for $199.99? Or 20-pound bags of gourmet grill pellets, just $4.99 each. Black Friday deals only last Wednesday through Saturday, so shop 4 days of unbeatable deals at RuralKing.com or your neighborhood Rural King, America's farm and home store.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
Chelsea Kidder, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Shout out to the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, for hanging out with us here earlier today. We, of course, got the week kicked off. It's Michigan week. We kick things off with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels. Bobby Carpenter will hang out with us on the show tomorrow. Excited to chat with him. And we'll continue it throughout the week, of course. This Saturday, Ohio State, Michigan, 10:30 coverage begins right here on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. A big noon kickoff at that. Also, because we are the home of the Buckeyes and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, although not calling the game tonight, Ohio State basketball, you could hear them all season long here on 1410 Wing AM. Ohio State, Seton Hall, 6 o'clock, the kickoff tonight, 5:15 coverage begins, and that means that'll bump Kev and I off here in a half hour, and I'm sure that we give the fans what they want. I know it's less Kev, and that's the problem for y'all, but it's less Kinder, and I'm sure everyone, that's what I do. I'm a giver. I'm a giver. Speaking of giving, the Cleveland Browns almost, they gave me a headache yesterday. They beat the Lions 13-10. No style points. Definitely no style points.
This ain't college.
Baker was trash. The Browns team in general is trash. Baker has no business playing a freaking second of a down right now. Not one. And Kevin Stefanski, my goodness. How, and I got to remember that these are actual people that I can't just call morons on the air. They're not Mikey by any means, but they're morons. Kevin Stefanski today was asked about the health of Baker Mayfield, and he said, I trust my medical staff. They cleared him to play. You can't watch what you are watching and say, well, the medical staff said he's good to go. There comes, I love toughness, and that's what everyone loves, good, tough story. The flu game for Michael Jordan, I'm not comparing it Baker to MJ, not by a long shot. But the flu game for Michael Jordan, the only reason it was significant was because he had the flu, hungover, had the flu, and still played at a high level, and the team still won. You don't get praise just for being sick and playing. You don't get praise for being hurt and playing, especially when your team suffers because you are out there hurt. Now, to be fair, every player will play if you let them when they are hurt, because every player, they are elite competitors. They are elite competitors. That's what these guys do. They will play through anything if you let them. And that is why it is your job as a head coach, as a leader of men, as a leader of this football team, to protect the player from himself. And if you don't care about the player, which to me it doesn't appear that they do, because if you cared about the player's future in a contract year, I mean, Mike, if this was anybody else, can you imagine if Lamar Jackson was this banged up and Harbaugh kept letting him go out there each and every week, risking a season or a career-ending injury? Do you think that the media would sit back and let it happen? No, because people love Lamar. People hate Baker Mayfield. That's really what it comes down to. Stefanski, this is just, it's insane to me. And even if you don't care about the health and well-being of Baker Mayfield, how you could sit back and look at the overall play of Baker Mayfield and think that it's acceptable and say, well, he's the medical staff. Okay.
You know what? I'm starting to think that this has nothing to do with coach. I think this is happening with the higher ups. We talked about this last week, asking how much involvement does the GM have in making these calls. I'm starting to think this has something to do with the GM and the ownership saying they want Baker to play. Because no way in Stefanski's right mind, I'm watching that game, and there's plays that Baker's missing simply because he's hurt and everything like that. And he has his look on his face, and he's using language, obviously, that we can't use on the airwaves, but they showed him, and he's frustrated as all get out. So he knows that he can't call the game that he wants to call because he's hurt. Mm-hmm. I don't think Coach Stefanski wants him out there either. I think this is happening from the higher ups inside the Browns organization.
Or Case Keenum's just not that good, and they know that, hey, even a limited Baker's better than what they have in Case Keenum. I have no idea. I mean, maybe there's something to that, Kev. I don't think that the front office is saying just run him into the ground. I think that the front office has a responsibility to everyone on that team to win and get to the playoffs, and I don't think that if they have a vendetta against Baker that they would risk all of that for the entire team for going after one guy. Either way, anyone out there, and this is what's annoying, is, you go out there and play, you're open to being dissected.
Yes.
But I do think there's a difference between the way people dissect how he plays injured and how other quarterbacks would play injured. I mean, that's really just a given. When any other player, I mean, in baseball all the time, if a pitcher is injured and they go out there, well, you could tell he just doesn't have his stuff today. You know, he has a nagging elbow injury. You know, this is a big deal. You know, if he has a leg injury or he's not able to get the full velocity on the ball because of this. In baseball, we hear broadcasters, we hear people who protect these pitchers who talk about, well, they're not going to be at their best because they are trying to pitch through an injury and yada, yada. Well, in football with Baker, because Baker is unlikable, and I like Baker, but he pissed me off today with this comment about the fans. Like, dude, shut up. You are losing friends by the day. You're losing people that support you by the day. And you're making it easy now. Before, I thought it was just a little overblown. Now I do think it's like he's making it worse. But any other quarterback, Joey Burrow, if he's banged up and playing poorly, the crappy Bengal fans will defend him and say, well, he's a little banged up right now. You know, he couldn't find the nail polish that he likes. He couldn't find this. You know, he's a little upset. You see what he wore, by the way? What he wore? Stupid. But anyways,
fashion is confidence, sir.
Really? Because he dressed how he played.
I'm not that confident, but you know, fashion is confidence.
And he wore a mask too, which good for him. I'd be wanting to hide who I was too if I was wearing that. My good. In fact, I'm going to wear that one time. I'm going to wear that. I'm going to find that same outfit, cheaper version.
You're not confident enough to wear it.
Oh, I'll wear it if it means mocking somebody. Are you kidding me? Give it to me. I'll pull it. I'll make it look better than he does. My gosh. Hey, he pulled it off. He should pull it off and never put it back on again. That's how ugly that thing was. My goodness. I mean, and by the way, these are the same annoying Bengal fans that rip Cam Newton for what he wears in post games. And when Joe Burrow does, oh, it's swag. Oh, he's so cool. Joe Burrow, blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, Baker Mayfield. They're calling Baker Mayfield trash yesterday, but apparently they didn't look at the box score and realize that, oh, Joe Burrow was worse than Baker yesterday. But that's not what today's about. Baker Mayfield, get him off the field. Get him off the field. And for anyone out there that is trying to say, oh, man, look how horrible he is. Yes, he's horrible playing hurt. We know, like when people say, well, we don't know what he would be like if he's healthy. Yeah, we do. We saw it last year, what he can do when he's healthy. We saw the team win games when he's healthy. We saw what he looked like when he was healthy. He threw for 300 plus yards, multiple touchdowns, against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was his best game of the season. Why? Because he was healthy. When he's healthy, he can air it out. When he's healthy, he can move the ball up and down the field. When he's healthy, you hate him just as much as you hate him when he's not healthy. Except the problem is when he's healthy, he puts numbers up, you still bash him, and it irritates you. When he's not healthy, he doesn't put the numbers up, and it makes him very easy to target. I just don't get it. People, I get it. You hate him, but I'm not. Look, he played like crap yesterday, but I don't care. He's playing like crap a lot lately because he's playing injured. But I got to ask, like, if I'm talking to Baker, I'm going to be like, dude, is being viewed as tough more important to you than being viewed as a good quarterback? Because I don't know if it's this macho thing that he's doing of I've got to be tough. I got to set an example. That's super. And he is setting an example, but to be able to get the full effect of being tough, it has to be matched by great play with it. And his injuries are keeping him from playing at a level that the Browns need. But let's not put it all on Baker because this just is not a very good offense right now. And I have no clue why. Because, I mean, the Bengals, they looked like they were ready to just take the league by storm against the Bengals, and they haven't looked the same since.
Yeah. They're up against it, man. They're up against it. If I was in Baker's inner circle, I would tell him, man, you don't have to prove anything, man. You've proven that you're tough. Like, people on your team won't go out there with these injuries. You're playing the most important position on the field. You need to get healthy so we can make a run. And I think this will be the prime opportunity for him to take a week off. You know, I know. Big Sunday night game. Everybody's going to be watching it. It's the Browns versus the Ravens. It's Baker versus Lamar, all that type of stuff. You want to play in this game. But guess what? You have a bye week after this week. So you go ahead, sit down this week, then take the entire week off because of the bye week, and then come back ready to go versus the Ravens the following week at home. Mm-hmm. That's what I will be telling them if I was.
Those are the games that matter.
That's what I would tell them if I was in the inner circle. But guess what? I work here at Dayton with you. I'm not on the inner circle. Is it time?
Time for what?
Baker or Taker?
Baker or Taker comes up in 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm ready.
I got to get to that other team.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So, by the way, and see, did piss me off now. Now goodness. I'm pissed.
We're not doing Baker or Taker.
No, we're doing Baker or Taker.
We're not.
We're doing Baker or Taker. But let's be clear. Joseph Burrow, everyone's golden child, leads the league in interceptions. That's all he does. He wears stupid outfits and throws the ball to the other team. That's what he does. That's what it should say. If he had a LinkedIn account, wears stupid outfits and throws interceptions. That should be his description of who Joe Burrow is. And I've been told all year that doesn't matter. The interceptions don't matter, Kev. The interceptions don't matter. This is from stupid, know nothing about football Bengal fans. That's what I've been told. I've been told that the interceptions isn't a problem. That's what I've been told by Bengals fans. Now, these soft-ass crybaby Bengal fans, I said Baker had a better game than Burrow yesterday, and he did. They had the same amount of touchdowns. One.
How many?
One.
Okay.
One. What they don't like is that every time they rip Baker, they don't realize that their quarterback is Baker Mayfield. Joe Burrow is Baker Mayfield. They just don't want to admit it. He throws the ball a ton to the other team, which is something that actually Baker has done less of, by the way. But yesterday, Baker threw 2 interceptions, and guess what? Now interceptions matter because they had the same amount of pass attempts. Joe Burrow actually completed more passes than Baker Mayfield, still finished with less yards. How, as an elite quarterback like Joe Burrow, who Tom Brady calls for advice, do you throw for 140-something yards in a game? How? When Baker does it, he's trash. When Burrow does it, he's a god. I've never seen 149 look so good. You guys are unbelievable. You've done it. You guys are the Mikey of Bengals fans.
Oh, no.
No, that's what these guys are. They are the Mikey of Bengals fans. They say the most craziest, ridiculous things.
Mikey on line 3.
By the way, every time that the Browns have won in spite of Baker Mayfield, I hear about it. The defense and the run game won them that game yesterday. Isn't that how the Bengals won yesterday? I don't hear anyone questioning their quarterback. I am here to question their quarterback to keep it fair because I play by their rules. Baker or Taker, that's next. You Bengals fans, get real. Morons.
Thought you weren't using that language
Morons.
anymore.
Well, when they're the Mikey of Bengals fans, that's what they're getting. Don't sit here and defend that play from Joe Burrow yesterday. He was crap against the Bengals or against the Browns, and he was even worse yesterday. I thought he was supposed to be an MVP, right? That was what they said. He's great. Luckily, the Bengals have a Joe, and it's not Joe Burrow. It's Joe Mixon. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
Buckman's D&D Harley-Davidson and Xenia has gifts for everyone on your list this year. November 24th, 26th, and 27th. Take 20% off licensed products, 10% off aftermarket non-Harley-Davidson parts, and have those incredible gifts wrapped and ready to go with free gift wrapping. Get those names checked off your list and give them what they really want this year, the gift of Harley-Davidson. Buckman's D&D Harley-Davidson, online at buckmansdnd.com.
Take home Frickers Holiday Feast. Frickin' yum, 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 yum. Our gift cards always please. Frickin' yum, 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 yum.
Take home 4 pounds of frickin' chicken chunks for only $29.99, carry out only. Buy a $25 Frickers gift card and you'll get 5 frickin' bonus bucks free. The ho, ho, ho! Fun food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Frickin' yum, yum.
Black Friday even earlier at Lowe's with deals on drills, impact drivers, and decor. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. We're live. We're local. What are you going to miss? We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
help if I had that on. Sorry, I pulled a Burrow. I screwed up. It's the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, 518-1410. That's the number to jump in on the conversation. Ohio State and Seton Hall coming up here later on here in like less than 20 minutes, actually. I'm all flustered. These guys have me all fired up. I let them get the best of me. I always say, no, I'm going to be cool, calm, and collected today. I'm not going to let them win, but they win every time, Kev. It's like the Browns over the Bengals. They win every time. It drives me nuts. But what I just don't like is the double standard. It's okay to say that your quarterback played poorly. I say when my quarterback plays poorly. You guys can't say when yours plays poorly. Your quarterback played like crap, and everyone is just drooling over Joe Burrow yesterday. I do not care that the team that is closest to Dayton should be the team I pull for and say nice things about. I will not. They won yesterday. It was a good win yesterday. It was on the road. By the way, that stadium looks badass. Like, that's a cool place.
Spaceship.
Like, there's not a lot of games that look good on TV. Raiders games on TV look good. The stadium just looks good all the way around. Really freaking cool. That was a big road win yesterday for the Bengals. I'm all for acknowledging that. If the Browns were to, I'm hoping they beat the Raiders here in a few weeks. I hope that, look, winning on the road is tough. And Zach Taylor could not win a road game to save his damn life. Couldn't win a game to save his life for the longest time. Now they're winning a lot of road games. All right, and by the way, didn't I say that coming into the season? Didn't I say that they were going to struggle at home and they were going to struggle? Well, I was wrong about the road thing because they beat the Ravens at home and they beat the Steelers at home. But they beat the Steelers there. I'm sorry. They did a lot of their damage on the road. We'll see. I said they wouldn't win a lot of games at home. We'll see what happens. But the point is Joe Burrow has not played well the last couple of weeks. And it's okay to say that, but apparently it's not. So then what happens is when I get resistance and I have people trying to tell me how good he is, I'm like, what is wrong with you? No, he has not played well and he does not look good. And it's okay to say that. But apparently delusion runs rampant in this area. I have no clue why. I have no clue. Like, there's like, if you were out, like if you drank a lot and that was your excuse, fine, more power to you. But these are sober people sitting at work right now. They could be sitting next to you at work right now and you don't even know it. And I feel bad for them. I really do. We're going to get to Baker Taker here in 1 minute. But this is dumb. So Robert Hicks says Burrow is a second-year. Oh, now these guys are math majors. Burrow is a second-year quarterback. Mayfield is a four-year quarterback. Comparison is a little bit off at this point. They should be compared to people in the same class. Yes.
No, man. Good is good. Good is good no matter what year you are. I'm not with that. And I'm not trying to be bashing, Joey B or anything like that or defending Baker. But look, man, if you can play, you can play. Period. Point blank. Don't matter what year you are. Like, LeBron James came into this league tearing it up as a rookie. As an 18-year-old rookie came tearing
Baker
it up.
tore it up as a rookie.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so why are we putting limitations on what type of age they are? Lamar Jackson came in the back half of his rookie year, led them to the playoffs. He was like the youngest player in the NFL. Age ain't got nothing to do with it, man. Ball out or don't ball out. That's the only thing you can do.
Ron Mullins, another great response here. Why are you justifying Baker's bad play with Burrow's bad play? Ron, please pay the hell attention if you freaking can. It's really not that hard. I have bashed Baker Mayfield today. I said he played like crap. In fact, I keep saying that they need to bench him because that's how poorly he's playing. Now he's playing poorly because he's injured. Your quarterback's playing poorly because why? I brought up Burrow because everyone chirping at me, coming at me about how great Joe Burrow is, and I'm saying, hold up. You guys have been telling me how bad Baker Mayfield is. I acknowledge that Baker has been really, really bad lately. But what you can't do is throw Baker's stat line in my face from yesterday and then act like your quarterback threw for 300 yards.
My quarterback was good last night.
Your quarterback is 100 years old and
he
was
balled out last
Joe Burrow
night.
yesterday.
He balled out last night.
Joe Burrow.
Old man balled out.
The backup quarterback for the Ravens was better than Joe Burrow yesterday. Like, that's the thing. As bad as Baker was, he was not even the worst quarterback in the AFC North yesterday. That's how bad Joe Burrow was. And it's okay, Bengals fans. You could just say it. It doesn't have to be a thing. It doesn't make you a bad fan. It really doesn't. Browns fans are the most passionate in all of the NFL, or at least one of the most passionate fan bases. They were booing their quarterback yesterday. They boo bad quarterback play. Your crowd cheers it. That says a lot about your fan base, and that's all I got to say about that. But don't tell me I can't compare the two damn quarterbacks. I absolutely can. In fact, if you look at Joe Burrow's start to his career and match it up against the exact same amount of games against Baker Mayfield, they're the same damn quarterback, same completion percentage, same passing yards, same touchdowns. I mean, it's the same freaking thing. It is the exact same. They are the same quarterback. They're the same. And at this point, Like, this is around the time that Baker started slipping at this around many games to his career. And we're seeing the same thing from Joe Burrow. You guys hate to admit it, and that's okay. You're just terrified. That's okay. I get it. But I'm just saying, every time you bash Baker, you're bashing your own quarterback. It's all right. So there you go. Anyways, let's do Baker or Taker, shall we? So Baker or Taker. Last year I had Baker Mayfield as a top 10 quarterback. Kev's been on me about playing this game for a while now. Real quick, let's do station identification before we get deep into this.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, we're back. Real quick, I'm getting a bunch of moronic responses on here. Josh Nichols, I have no problem if you just don't like me and don't tune into the show ever again. And if my bosses fire me for telling someone don't listen, then fire me. Don't listen. Go away. I don't want to associate with people who are delusional. You literally just said that he didn't have to pass the ball yesterday. But when Baker Mayfield has a good game, you are the same morons that sit here and say, oh, well, they're only winning because of the run game. They're only winning because of that defense. Gee, doesn't that sound an awful lot like the Cincinnati Bengals? They only win when the defense plays well. They only win when Joe Mixon plays well. That sounds an awful lot like the Cleveland Browns to me. Now, I don't think that that's a big deal. I actually probably wouldn't be hating Joe Burrow as much if you wouldn't tell me that what Joe Burrow does when it's equal to Baker Mayfield, that they're both bad, and yet you say one's good and one's bad. You guys are morons. Anyways, Baker or Taker. Kev, let me hit some music. We need some NFL music. Let's put some NFL music behind this. Last year, I had Baker Mayfield as the top 10 quarterback in the NFL because, let's see, he was. And why was he? Oh, yeah, because he was healthy. And if he was healthy this year, he would be better than Joe Burrow. And the only stat that Joe Burrow would be better at than Baker Mayfield, he'd have more touchdowns because he leads a passing offense. As you know, that's why you got Jamar Chase. Penei Sewell, by the way, looked really, really good yesterday against two of the best pass rushers in football. Good for Penei Sewell. Great guy, by the way. Great talent. I mean, my goodness. But hey, you have a wide receiver who's not doing much lately for you, but more power to you. Kev, Baker, and Taker, let's go.
All right, so there's 32 teams in the NFL, but I have 34 people on the list. Where do you think you'll have Baker once we're done?
14, 15 in that range. He's a middle-of-the-line quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could win with a middle-of-the-line quarterback in the NFL. People talk about him like he is worse than Taylor Heineke and some of these guys at the bottom. So you already know
you said 14, 15. I'm going to say I'm going to have him like 17, 18. So let's do this. Baker or Taker? Josh Allen.
I'll take Josh Allen over Baker, although Josh Allen, like last year, Josh Allen had his best year ever, as did Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen, and I said, be careful, Buffalo. Don't fall for that one great year. The same way people told me, don't fall for that one great year of Baker Mayfield last year. And I said, I'm not falling for nothing. It's called being confident in your quarterback to build off of it. And the Browns were smart and didn't invest in Baker Mayfield after last year's great run. The Bills did. And look, the Bills kind of regressing a bit. Josh Allen regressing a bit. It'll be interesting to continue tracking that. But no, I'm not dumb. I'll take Josh Allen. Even at his regressing state right now, I'll take him over Baker any day.
Tua.
Oh, Baker. I'll take Baker over Tua. I will give Tua this. He's getting healthier. He's getting more locked in. Better. He looks more comfortable. He is playing really well. But as of today, if you're telling me I have to take, Baker or Taker, I'm going to Baker. Baker for me. But, Tua keeps at this pace and he passes Baker because, more consistency and staying healthy than Tua. I could potentially take him down the road. But for right now, I got to take Baker over him.
Mac Jones.
I'm going to still take Baker Mayfield. Look, Mac Jones right now is a product of that very well-run system. All you have to do is tell him, don't turn it over, don't make a mistake. That's what Baker Mayfield did last year, but he was more explosive. Mac Jones, what people are getting too caught up in is he's really, really good for a rookie quarterback, but is he really, really good? I don't know. Kev, how many other teams out there can you drop Mac Jones on and they're instantly better? That's not a shot at him. He's doing what you're being asked to do. I love what he's doing. The Patriots is my favorite story in the NFL right now. Like, if they could get to the Super Bowl and go up against Tom Brady and the Bucs, I'm sorry, but that will be
breaking all types of records.
Awesome. I still take Baker over Mac Jones, but if Mac Jones continues ascending and getting better, it's going to be hard not to take Mac Jones in a few years. I will acknowledge Baker has a ceiling. And I think last year could have been it. Last year, the best that we saw Baker, I don't know how much better you can get after that if you're Baker. That's why this year I'm not freaking out because he's only playing bad because of injuries. If he can get back to that and the Browns pay him $25 million a year, that's might be a loss for Baker, but it's a win for the Browns and it's a loss for everybody else in the division as far as I'm concerned.
I would take Mac Jones. Zach Wilson.
Oh, Baker.
Lamar Jackson.
Look, talent-wise, Lamar's better than Baker. Healthy Baker Mayfield. I'm still going to take Lamar over Baker, but Lamar is Lamar is so damn good at what he does that it's still better than what Baker is at what he does. But like overall, I'm not comfortable with Lamar Jackson at quarterback until he elevates an offense with his arm. I know what he could do with his legs, but until he can run a team to a Super Bowl, I'm not going to get overly excited from what I see from Lamar Jackson in the regular season. But Lamar's available, and I'm a GM, and I have to pick between Lamar and Baker. I would have no choice but to pick Lamar Jackson. So I'll take Lamar. I'll do the smart thing and take Lamar.
Joe Burrow.
I'm not a delusional Bengals fan. I'm smart here.
Joe Burrow.
Oh, nice. Good timing. I'm taking Baker Mayfield. If you're talking right now, I want the quarterback that doesn't throw it to the other team all the time. And this is coming a day after Baker Mayfield threw 2 interceptions. But again, if you want me to analyze Baker off of playing while playing injured, I'm not going to do that. I know what Baker Mayfield's capable of. And if you look at what Baker did in the second half of last year and what Joe Burrow's doing this year, not a whole hell of a lot of difference, to be quite honest with you. Yes, Joe Burrow's going to throw for more touchdowns than Baker, as he should. You're a passing offense. You brought Zach Taylor over from who? From Sean McVay, the offensive wizard when it comes to the pass game. You didn't bring him over to be a run team with Joe Mixon. You brought him over to make these great, drop these great plays, have this great offensive scheme to, air it out. So, yes, he will have more pass attempts. He will have more passing touchdowns. But unless Joe Burrow fixes that turning the ball over thing, I know he didn't turn it over yesterday. Good for him. But I can't, as long as Joe Burrow's behind that bad offensive line, he was running for his life again yesterday, by the way. And he came up limping again on the anniversary of his injury or whatever, or the day before the anniversary of his injury. All I'm saying, I'm going to still take Baker Mayfield. I don't care. The Baker Mayfield from last year, when healthy, because that's who he is. He's not the Baker Mayfield of this year. I'm going to take the healthy Baker Mayfield over Joe Burrow. By the way, not a big gap, though. Joe Burrow, I'm probably the minority here. I know that Joe Burrow's, in the eyes of most, better than Baker Mayfield, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't care. Watch Joe Burrow. I know he looks a little flashier here and there, but just because you look flashier and give the same results that Baker Mayfield does, I'm sorry, I can't get overly excited about that.
I'm gonna go with Joey B. I think his ceiling is a little bit higher than Baker Mayfield's. The old man, the old grizzled veteran who balled his butt off last night, Ben Roethlisberger. Obviously, everybody.
I'm gonna take Baker. That's no disrespect to Big Ben Roethlisberger,
because it's not a career. This is right here, right now.
Right here, right now. And look, Big Ben. I have no hate towards Big Ben. In fact, last year, I don't really hate on the Steelers too often. I feel like I should. I feel like that's the team I should hate more in the division than anybody else. But they back it up. The reason I don't hate Steelers fans is because when y'all are cocky, you have a right to be. You have a reason to be. Us Browns and Bengals fans, we're annoying as hell because we chirp, and really we're just chirping over who's worse than the other one. That's really all it comes down to. But no, I got to take Baker over Big Ben, Kev, as of right now. But no, Baker is not Big Ben, but Baker is better than Big Ben. If I have to pick a quarterback to win with for the next 3 years, I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield.
All righty, moving on to Tyrod Taylor.
This is the guy that took Tyrod. This is the team that was 0-1 with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback until Baker Mayfield took over for Tyrod Taylor just a few years ago, and that's back when Tyrod Taylor was younger and had a healthier lung before it was punctured by that damn. What team did that? Chargers, my goodness, unbelievable. But no, I'm going to take Baker over Tyrod's solid. He's just a backup quarterback. He's not a starter in the league.
Agreed. Carson Wentz.
Damn, a year ago I would have said, I like Carson Wentz more. I think I need to see Carson finish out this season and lead a team into a playoff run. I'll be fair here. I'm going to say Carson Wentz. Like the big playmaking ability. Look, I think that Joe Burrow has more Carson Wentz in him than anybody. Is capable of making plays with his arm, capable of that big play moment at any point, but he's also capable of imploding and capable of kind of shrinking at times. So I'm gonna take Carson Wentz just because I've seen him be good more than I've seen him be bad. Last year was really bad, but I think Carson Wentz would make the Browns better right now, and I'll go with Carson Wentz over Baker, not by much though.
I agree. I think the ceiling is there, the athleticism is there, the big arm and all those lovely adjectives everybody like to throw out there and everything like that. So I would go with Carson Wentz over Baker Mayfield. Trevor Lawrence, the rookie, first-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is a tough one. It's tough with rookies because you just don't know because you're looking at them for what they're producing now. Like the ceiling is like, I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield for this reason. Trevor Lawrence will have a better career than Baker Mayfield. But I'm not confident in going that route yet because he plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. If I wasn't a Buckeye fan, I would be laughing at the Jags and Urban Meyer like you wouldn't believe. Part of me still is pulling for him to succeed because I like Urban Meyer. But at the end of the day, I just think that Jaguars team is such a mess that it's going to really keep him from being able to take his career to that next level anytime soon. So I'm going to say Baker over him, over Trevor Lawrence.
That's fair. I would go with Baker over him right now, too. It's scary hours for them down there. All these rumors going on about what's going to happen with Coach Meyer and everything like that. He could be on his second coach in his second year just like that, man. So that's not how you want to start a career.
I know he'll have a different quarterback next year. Who's Florida's quarterback? Real quick, Paul Thompson said if you took Mayfield over Burrow for long term, you'd be fired. Not so fast, Paul, because if the Browns give Baker an extension at $25 million, they're going to be able to have more weapons around him, and the Browns will be better off long-term with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. When the Bengals pay Joe Burrow max money and they can't afford to put any weapons on the defensive side of the ball or help him out all up front on the offensive line, the Bengals will struggle. They will become the Seahawks. They'll become all those teams that can't afford to put many weapons around. Sure, if you guys think Burrow's better, fine, but I think Baker and the Browns will be better long-term together than Burrow and the Bengals because the Browns won't be paying their quarterback as much money as everyone else. I've said that before. So think what you want, but you're wrong. Keep going.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill is a more composed version of Baker Mayfield. I'm going to go with Baker, but not by much. And that's saying more about Tannehill because Tannehill's just more composed, but he's boring to me. I want Baker Mayfield. But I think they're very similar. Tannehill is Baker, just quieter and not.
If this is so hyperbolic of myself, if he just didn't throw 4 interceptions yesterday, I would say Ryan Tannehill. I really would because, he's been playing great this season. For real. I know they got some bad losses like that. I think they lost to the Jets like week 1 and everything like that. But that 5 turnover game yesterday he had was brutal. But I'll relax. I'll breathe. I think I will take Ryan Tannehill over Baker Mayfield.
Paul Thompson says no, period. I'm right, period. You're wrong, period. I respect people who use the right your when they say you're wrong. So, Paul, I won't rip into you as much, even though you're being weird. You use the right your, so kudos to you, but you can't say I'm wrong when I just use logic that put your logic to bed. Your quarterback has done absolutely nothing to this point to sit there and try to tell me I'm wrong. My quarterback has actually succeeded. Yours hasn't. You haven't done anything. Your team finally just won 6 games. That equals the total from the last 2 years. Congratulations. Yeah, you're on to something there. I just got done telling you, if Burrow goes on to be better than Baker, super. Pay him his $40+ million. They won't be able to keep talent around him, and then they'll just be average like the Seahawks. The Browns will pay Baker $25 million. They'll have enough to keep Chubb. They'll have enough to keep that offensive line and a lot of those defensive pieces, and the Browns will be better off long term, and you're only as good as your career. There has been more talented quarterbacks in the NFL than Tom Brady, but none have come close to being as successful. Why? Because he had better teammates around him. He had better players around him. He had better teams, better coaching, and that will be Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. It's okay to sound stupid, from time to time, but you Bengals fans do it all the time, and it's exhausting. Kev, next up. I'm having arguments within our segment.
I see. This is one of the bonuses. Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield any day of the week, but I don't know the history of him. I don't know the history of him. Sorry. I don't know the future for Deshaun Watson and all that, but take the off the field issues off the table. I would take Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield. We'll zip through these to make sure we get these in because I want to know my total at the end. Teddy Bridgewater.
Baker Mayfield.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Baker Mayfield. No, I'm just joking. Patrick Mahomes. And by the way, Josh says Patrick Mahomes has the same amount of interceptions than Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes must suck. Josh, don't be an idiot. That's all I got to say. That's my words of advice. Every time you're about to be an idiot, just think to yourself, would Kinner make fun of me for this? And then don't hit send on it because you sound foolish right now. Your quarterback is not Patrick Mahomes. Sit down and be quiet. And let's, we're having a conversation. Go away, Josh. Keep going, Kev.
Derek Carr.
That's a painful one. People keep saying, but if you drop Derek Carr on the Browns today over a beat up Baker Mayfield, that's an easy one. But Carr's so up and down as well. If we're talking how similar quarterbacks are, I'm going to go with the guy I'm comfortable with and I know more. I know Baker more. I'm going to go with Baker over Carr. I don't think Carr is that much better than Baker Mayfield. He has shown glimpses of being greater than Baker Mayfield, but he's also shown way more times of being less than Baker Mayfield. I got to go with Baker Mayfield.
Derek Carr fan. A couple years ago, he was an MVP candidate. And then he broke his arm or wrist, whatever he broke on his throwing hand or something like that. And then they just fell out of contention. Then they decided to bring back Chucky, and you know where that led. So I would go Derek Carr. Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. I'll take Justin Herbert is like what Bengals fans think Joe Burrow is. Justin Herbert's a real quarterback. Justin Herbert doesn't wear stupid Teletubby looking outfits. Justin Herbert's a man. Justin Herbert is the bomb. Justin Herbert is so damn good that I almost wish I was a Chargers fan instead of a Browns fan at times. That's how good Justin Herbert is. Suck it, Joe Burrow. Okay, keep going.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. I'll go with. I would not have said that a year and a half ago, but Dak Prescott's so damn good. I know they lost yesterday, but I'll take Dak.
Danny Dimes.
Baker.
Justin. Jalen Hurts.
I'll take Baker. Jalen Hurts getting better though. I like Jalen.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Joe
I wanted the
Burrow's
Steelers to
coming
get
down.
him. I wanted the Steelers to draft him. Very
I like
much
Jalen
so.
Hurts.
Tyler Heineke.
I will take Baker Mayfield.
Justin Fields.
I will take Baker Mayfield, although the ceiling's there for Justin to surpass that at some point, but I'll take Baker right now.
Jared Goff.
I will take Baker Mayfield.
Aaron Rodgers.
I will take Aaron Rodgers. I will take Tom Brady.
Hey, don't throw me off here. Kirk Cousins, another thinker here.
I will take Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield threw 150 yards against the Vikings and still beat Kirk Cousins. And hell, he let Joe Burrow beat him. So I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield.
Oh, you keep messing me up. Okay. So I would go, even though I'm a Kirk Cousins hater, I think I will go with Kirk Cousins. I think that is Baker Mayfield's ceiling is Kirk Cousins. So I want to go with Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Matty Ice.
Damn, a year ago I would have said Matty Ice. I wanted them to trade for Matty Ice a year ago. But that was when Baker was averaging under 200 yards a game last year, and I was frustrated. I'm like, but then I don't know if it's because OBJ left or not, but when OBJ left last year with that injury, all of a sudden it was a completely different Baker. It's not like I was wanting Matty Ice in the middle of Baker's run. I will take Baker Mayfield over Matty Ice at this point. But Matty Ice, just 2 or 3 years ago, I would have taken Matty Ice in the snap of a finger.
Baker.
You've never been a Matty Ice guy.
No, he's not that deal. Sam Darnold.
Baker Mayfield.
Jameis Winston.
I'm going to say Baker Mayfield, although I think that Jameis Winston's more explosive offensively, and he did cut back on the interceptions. If Jameis would have finished out the season the way he started, I would have had a different answer at the end. I'm still more comfortable with Baker.
That's fair. That's fair.
For right now, it's Baker. A year from now, I would probably say Jameis Winston if he can come back and pick up where he left off.
Yeah, if Jameis would have finished out the season and playing exactly how he was playing, I would have definitely went with Jameis. But it's incomplete. It's an incomplete assignment for Jameis Winston, so I'm not going to have him on there. So that's fair. Tom Brady. Another bonus, Cam Newton.
Oh, Baker Mayfield in a heartbeat. Look, and by the way, Cam Newton, love that he's back with Carolina. It's pretty cool seeing that. It's like the nostalgia day, stuff like that. Although they're being handled the same, limiting how many times you drop them back and all that. But keep in mind, Cam Newton yesterday looked solid. But I'm still going to say Baker, healthy Baker Mayfield. That's the thing. People keep thinking I'm crazy right now because all they picture is how bad Baker has been this year, but they're too dumb to realize that Baker Mayfield has been playing hurt all year. If this is who Baker was healthy, oh my gosh, I would have picked half the people I picked over Baker. Picked Baker over them. I'd be picking them over Baker if this was healthy Baker. But I've already seen what Baker can do healthy. But no, I'm going to take Baker over Cam Newton right now, at least.
Baker over Cam. Kyler Murray.
More Kyler Murray's annoying, frustrating. He whines an absolute ton, and you know how I feel about whining. But he's just more talented. He's more versatile. Is he as good with his legs as Lamar Jackson? No, but he is very, very effective with his legs, and it complements the pass game real well.
Matthew Stafford.
I'm still taking Baker over. I still think you put, a healthy Baker Mayfield with that Rams offense. They're doing similar things. I don't think it would be that much different, to be quite honest with you. People, again, you can't get this year's Baker out of your head, and that's why you're laughing at me. But my goodness, no one was laughing at me when the Browns were kicking everyone's ass last year, and Baker was the third most efficient quarterback last year, the last 8 games of the season. So, Matthew Stafford. That ain't fair. I lied. I'll take Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's a more polished Baker. He is more playmaking. He can make that bigger play than Baker more consistently. I'm sorry that I almost said Baker. I have to be consistent. I'm going to say Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is who I wanted Baker to be, actually. And I think he can be that when healthy. And so I'm going to say Stafford. You're not a Stafford guy, though.
Baker Mayfield.
Jake Whiting, listen, I like you, but you are a moron.
We got 1 minute. We got 1 minute.
Why are you based off last year? Because that's who Baker is when healthy, you moron. Jake, I like
1
you,
minute.
but stop it. You're being Mikey here, and I can't. My blood pressure can't take it today. Moron is my new go-to word. I don't care if y'all don't like it. I don't care if you tell me to grow up. I'm not. Get over it. Next.
Jimmy G.
That's a Baker. Just because it goes back to that whole, if they're very similar, I'm going to go with who I'm comfortable with. I got to go with Baker. Where did I have him falling?
Baker. No, we got one more. Russ.
Oh, Russell. I'll take Russell Wilson.
So, you have...
We're tallying him up, baby. I said about 14. I said he's middle of the pack guy. I feel like I picked him a lot, but I also feel like I picked the competition a lot, too.
You picked Baker Mayfield over 14 other quarterbacks.
So I have him at 20th?
Yes.
That's fair. There's not one, like the Matthew Stafford one. I was like, but Matthew Stafford's better. He's an MVP candidate this year. I mean, Matthew Stafford, I can't go wrong there. Tua in a year, I could pick Tua over him too. But I don't regret picking him over Burrow. They're the same damn quarterback. Burrow throws more touchdowns, but that's the offense he plays in. And Burrow's healthy for the time being. By the way, all those sacks from drafting that wide receiver are starting to catch up with him. I saw him limping the other day. His body just seems to break down 10 weeks into the season every time. All right. That's not good. You just proved your point. Okay, then we're going to do Joe Burrow or I can't come up with a rhyme for next week. Next time you're back, we're doing the Joe Burrow thing. I'm telling you right now, Joe Burrow's not as good as you guys think he is. This love affair you guys have with him is disgusting. I'm not joking. I know it's Cincinnati and you guys love average, but my God, get over him. My goodness. He is not that good, folks. He is not as good as you think. You guys won yesterday because of the run game and defense. That's the same way that Cleveland wins, and you make fun of them for that. But when you guys do it, it's okay. Get over yourself. Buckeye basketball next, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Get to let it fit in your own schedule, and it's right up your alley. You're a player. It's a good way to stay connected to the game, right?
It's exactly it. Obviously, getting to do that in the free time to just talk hoops and get my opinions out there is great. And then also staying connected with the team, getting to interview Coach Holt and the players and stuff. It's been just such an awesome time doing that.
Before I ask you specifically about this team and the game coming up, I love catching up with you because let's face it, when you're a walk-on and when you're on the end of the bench, you will always get to hear it on social media, right? Like you're in that role. Everybody likes to joke and kid and make fun, right? But we'd all be lying. Most of us, 99% of us would be lying if we said we wouldn't take that spot. You've got to be a heck of a basketball player to play in the Big Ten. Joey, I would imagine you had offers, you had opportunities. What made you want to go this route to be a walk-on and maybe, know you were going to be a bench player, a role player versus going the smaller school route where you could be more of a contributor? What was the decision-making process?
Yeah, what a great question. I think first and foremost, Ohio State was always my dream school. Being a kid from Chicago, my mom went to Ohio State.